Welcome everybody one more time to another episode here on the Sitrep podcast. I am your host, Ariskany Jim, and today we're going to take a look at Valor Victory, the modern expansion. This is the new modern expansion rules that we have recently published, available on Board Game Geek and also on the Sitrep Discord. And today we're going to take a look at just a quick scenario here in Vietnam. We are looking at a map here. This isn't any battle in particular. This is just a random village, probably somewhere up in First Corps sector, up near the DMZ. It doesn't really matter where it is. We have our usual 5 objective hexes on the map. Three landing zones that we're going to have as objective hexes. LZ X-Ray, LZ Whiskey, and LZ Yankee. The village itself, marked right there, and of course the exit road that heads further to the east, or I should say to the west, further to the west, and the Laotian border. Alright, so we're going to try this today with some very rudimentary solo gaming system, with some solo gaming mechanics, where we have potential People's Army of Vietnam forces here, and what we'll be doing is we'll be drawing cards, and we'll see like what enemy forces appear from what direction and so on. These are the cards, and these cards of course correspond to these forces. We have the usual Valor and Victory half squads and full squads. We've seen these before in previous games. We've been doing Vietnam and Valor and Victory now for about 2.5 years, so this isn't exactly we're not exactly babes in the woods when it comes to this. We do have a mix of, again, People's Army of Vietnam and NLF Main Force Battalion guerrillas down here. These guys do have some captured American 60mm mortars here with the command team. There's also a couple of douches to take care of American Hueys that are going to be flying in. We have 2 douche teams, depending on when they show up, backed up by PKMs. We're also looking at some general rifle platoons here under some Vietnamese lieutenants, sometimes with RPGs, sometimes with PKM general purpose machine guns in support. And then again, we're talking about NLF Main Force Battalion guys down here that have sappers. Keep an eye out for them. That sapper team is carrying a satchel charge that is not a friendly package to be delivered. And again, more RPGs. I did give the both the NLF and the PAVN quite a bit of RPGs. I think there's a total of 4 of them on the table. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4 of them on the table. I also gave them some anti-tank grenades because the Americans are coming in with 2 tanks. So the purpose of today's stream, really, guys, is to just kind of showcase some of the new formalized rules. You guys were asking us to please formalize these rules for Valor and Victory, Modern Edition. So we have done that. It has now finally been published, as everyone knows. Again, those I've listed before the places where they're available. And today we're just gonna, go through some of the rules. Along with experimenting with some AI/solitaire mechanics. So the Americans are coming in, an army force, no Marines this time, no Marines, no Special Forces, no ARVN, no Australians, just straight out, American, big green machine army. Stop me if you've heard this one before. We have our commanders, which are Barnes, Elias, O'Neill. Who else we have? We have McDonough, that is, we have Ramucci, I should say, and Warren. These are all, of course, characters out of the movie Platoon, and they're going to be our commanders for today. So we have our Hueys, our UH-1, our basically, droop-carrying slicks that are coming in. I've got 5 of them in all. They have T1 transport code, which means they can carry, what Valor and Victory says. We're playing this one chapter and verse. No weird house rules, no, We're playing this one right out of the book. And that is going to be not Captain's Edition. That's going to be D-Day +1 edition of Valor Victory by Barry Doyle. That's the base World War II set. Stacked on top, and stacked on top of that are my Valor Victory Modern Edition rules. So we got a squad and a leader and a support weapon for a T1. That's the troop carrying capacity for a T1. So again, each bird is carrying about 9 guys. Or so. The ones that aren't carrying officers are instead carrying a half squad and a medic team. Medic teams count as half squads for stacking and transport purposes. We also have 2 UH-1H gunships that are going to be kind of flying some cover for us over the LZs. And then we have a ground force coming in from the east, led by Captain McDonough. That is, I believe, Dale Dye's character in Platoon. And again, we got Ra and we got Sergeant Warren. They're coming in, again, with more heavier ground force platoons. And these guys, again, a lot of extra M60s, laws, bloopers, and things like that. Also a medic because we got to watch out for, casualties. 2 M48A3 Pattons, just because why not. Of course, both sides get snipers. We're giving the Americans quite a bit of artillery support. Because again, I'm outnumbered by the Vietnamese by a total of about 2 to 1. So we are coming in with 3 heavy barrages. These are SMAs, submunition artillery. So we'll experiment with the rules as laid out in Valor Victory Modern Edition on those guys. Those are going to be nice. Those are going to lay down some serious damage if I can get Charlie spotted on time, so to speak. And we've got 2 airstrikes, the classic Vietnam, mid-Vietnam snake and nape combination. We've got CBD, that's conventional bomb delivery, and again, the rules as specified in Valor and Victory. Everything's formalized now, everything's written down, everything's been play tested. We're just going to go ahead and showcase it here today. And then we have napalm area effect for the second one. So we got 1 just basic iron bomb strike and then 1 napalm strike. Again, the classic snake and nape that you see in a lot of the mid-ish Vietnam scenarios. And that's about it, guys. So I don't know if we have any questions so far. The Americans, again, are coming in from... the helicopters can, of course, come in from any direction. Here's our blowout of the map. The Americans can, of course, come in from pretty much any direction they choose. The tanks can come in from any of these 3 roads, either here in... Come on, baby. Either here on this road from the north, this road coming in from the east, and then, of course, there's one more road in the south. This road here in the south. So, we can come in from any of those 3 roads. The objective, of course, is to take all 5 of these objective hexes before the end of the game. So we've gone ahead and started on turn 1, and I'll explain everything that's happening so far as soon as I get through the chart here, or as soon as I get through the chat here. Cool. The military likes its alphabet soup. Cool. Hello, Ben and Piotr says, okay. Yeah, I'm just checking out everybody here in the chat. Cool. Awesome. Everything seems cool. Because Science Teacher has subscribed with her Prime, they have subscribed for a total of 18 months. They're on a 9-month streak. Thanks very much. Because Science Teacher, we definitely appreciate it. Piotr's going to start singing for us, except please don't. But that's okay. None of us can hear you, so you can sing your heart's content. Go for it, dude. I'm wondering when I will start to sing Fortunate Son. I will not start singing Fortunate Son. I actually don't really like that song, to be honest with you. The music is cool. The lyrics are a little, I don't want to say offensive, but I don't really agree with the lyrics. I don't know, kind of unpatriotic, to put it lightly. Okay, so here's the situation partway through the American turn 1. Okay, so again, I'm playing the Americans, and the AI mechanic that we're going to be experimenting with very, very basic, very, very rudimentary, very experimental for the AI system, is, of course, is playing the communists. So the Americans came in with 3 slicks and a gunship here from the north. Okay, I went ahead and landed right on LZ X-ray. These birds came in on their movement phase, and they did land. I should say before that I rolled for the 3 civilians, the 3 civilian counters to see if they moved. Believe it or not, none of them moved. So a lot of times we tend to miss that phase, but I have it written down in my notes now, so we shouldn't be missing it this game going forward. But those civilians can move, and they move in a random direction because they're panicked, obviously. And there are lots of rules that we've seen in Valor Victory for Valor Victory modern expansion for civilians. So the first thing you do in the movement phase, both sides of the movement phase, is check for civilian movement. There wasn't any. There were no Americans on the table yet, so obviously there was no command phase, there was no direct fire phase. We go straight to movement. Again, so the Americans came in from the north. They landed these 3 birds here. We're going to see if they took any ground fire in just a second, and we're going to see if they spotted anything on their way coming in. The plan is for them to come in, land. They've already dropped their troops. So this squad came out of that bird, this squad came out of that bird, and this squad came out of that bird. You're allowed to either put your guys in the same hex with your helicopter or move it into an adjacent hex. That's part of their debarkation process. Technically, this hasn't happened yet. It's pending potential communist ground fire in just a second. All right, so that's what's going on here in the north. This gunship is, at least the plan is, to provide sort of an arc of cover here for this first platoon to land in here. 1, 2, 3 squads plus a medic, plus a couple of sergeants. Pretty much that's Barnes and Elias up there, along with a medic, some half squads, some bloopers, stuff like that. Meanwhile, the tank came down this road, and I just, you know what, I'm a tank, I don't care. He just went right into these 3 potential enemy forces here, and we're going to see what's what in a big hurry. We're not wasting any time today. I was trying to get some infantry support to them. Again, the infantry, the ground force infantry had LZs, further off here to the east. They came in. I underestimated the terrain, so these tanks are a little exposed. I was hoping these infantry would be like right up here behind them when they encounter these potential communist forces over here. Again, either PAVN or NLF. We'll see what happens. NVA or Viet Cong, if you want to be, colloquial about it. So that's what's going on here in the north. Here in the center, the Americans, again, it's going to be pretty much their ground force. We've got Captain McDonough. He came up here using the road movement rate, and he's pretty much just going to collide with his potential force. That might be nothing. That hooch might be empty, or it might pack a squad and a half of, or maybe even 2 squads of either Viet Cong or NVA regulars. We're going to have to see what happens there. In the south, let me get rid of that little arrow there. Down here in the south, the M48 Patton came right on. Again, not wasting any time. While Warren's squad, Sergeant Warren, came around across this bridge and is going to either engage or clear this hex. We're gonna find out if that's a real force or not. Meanwhile, we've got our other 2 slicks came in, like so, again with a gunship sort of screening, hopefully to the front, and we'll see what's happening there. So that is the situation at the moment. Now let's see what's actually really happening here. Okay, so we've done civilian movement, and we've done American movement pending booby traps. So I have to check out some booby traps. That's every squad that has moved on the ground, every squad or vehicle. So we'll start here on the north and work our way south. All right, this tank moved down the road. He moved way less than half of his movement rate, so that means that he's only going to strike a mine or a booby trap on a very, oops, hold on a second here. If you move half your movement rate or less in Valor and Victory game terms, if you use assault movement, your odds of striking a booby trap are greatly reduced. So let's see if that Patton ran over anything on his way in. Nope, he's fine. Cool. Now, the squad up here to the north did really haul ass up that hill and through that tree line, through hexes, Quebec 2, Papa 1, and then Oscar 2. They, long story short, they used their full movement, so they're going to have a slightly higher likelihood of hitting a booby trap moving through those hexes. Nope, they're also okay. Good to go so far. Down here to Captain McDonough. Again, he's in trouble, perhaps, with, not in trouble, but he moved full speed, so he has to roll for booby traps against a slightly, ooh, that was close. That was close. An 11, if you use your full movement rate, you hit a booby trap on 11. If you use half your movement rate or less, you only hit a booby trap on a 12. So he came close. This guy, that is Ramushid's squad. He full, actually more than a squad and a half, two full squads really. His understrength platoon. He did use full movement rate, so again we'll roll for him. Okay, he's all right. That tank moved way less than half of his movement, so he only hits a booby trap on a 12. All right, he's fine. Okay, so far the Americans have not hit any booby traps. The helicopters, of course, do not set off booby traps. Excuse me. And the squads that came out of the helicopter, again, did their movement in the air. They're allowed to debark in an adjacent hex. That's technically not part of their movement phase. So, that's it for booby traps. The Americans have so far not stepped on anything. Now we're going to check and see if those choppers took any ground fire coming in. So we're going to roll on the unspotted fire chart. We're going to check and see if any of these question marks just took a poke at one of these helicopters or dropped some mortar fire or whatever on any of these units as they came in. So that's a 2d6 roll on this little mini chart here. We're going to see if we're going to see how this happened. We're going to see what happened when we came in. Oh boy, here we go. 4. Okay, so 4 on the chart is no fire. No one's shot at us yet. Okay, cool. Now we're going to see if the choppers spotted anything on their way in. Okay, the choppers can spot anything within 6 hexes. Assuming it's undercover. Everything is undercover. They can make 1 check per target. Now, their odds are pretty bad. It's really, really tough to spot Vietnamese communists in jungle canopy from the air, especially when you're doing a fast landing into a contested LZ. So, long story short, each chopper gets to make a 6, or gets to make a roll, and they need a 6 up. So, not really likely. I'm not going to waste any spots on these two guys. That tank is now adjacent to those two. He's going to spot them automatically anyway. So again, I'm trying to secure this LZ, not only because it's an objective hex, but also because I don't get the hell shot out of me as I literally put my guys down on the deck. So I'm going to go ahead and this helicopter is going to try and spot that unit there. Nope. This helicopter is going to try to spot this unit there. Nope. And this helicopter is going to also try and spot that unit there. Again, I'm at low altitude and then I came in and landed, so I have to make sure that I have technical line of sight on these guys. Because when you're at low altitude, terrain does matter. 1, hell no. He didn't see shit. Okay, this guy here is going to try to spot this guy down here in the south. Okay, my choppers can't see anything coming in. That stinks. Down here to the south, I've got 3 more birds. I'm going to try to spot this guy. Actually, I'm going to try to spot this guy twice, and then this guy up here. So 2d6 on that unit in the south. 3 and a 2, nope. And next, this guy again over here in Echo 8. Come on, helicopter, spot something. Nope, didn't see anything. That's, again, not that surprising. Okay, so those were the spots that I had to roll for. Then there are some spots that are automatic. Like these two guys definitely are spotted by this M60 because this M48 because this M48 is now adjacent. So how we do that is we're going to draw from this deck of cards. This deck of cards has been pre-selected, where only certain cards are in the deck. There's a grand total of, I think, 16 cards in there. Aces, kings, queens, and jacks of all 4 suits. So yeah, 14 cards. Jacks and queens mean that there's nothing there. Aces and kings means that something is there, depending on what we draw. Okay, so drum roll, please. Dun, 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 dun. The first unit is the King of Diamonds. Yep, there's somebody there. Oh shit. The Sapper. That M48 just ran into the Viet Cong Sapper team. Oh boy. That's just lovely. Well, look at it this way, guys. We're gonna have a no messing around on the stream today. We're gonna get right into the thick of it. All right, so that replaces this question mark counter. We know what's there now. It's a Viet Cong, 2 squads and a sapper team carrying a satchel charge. Oh, yippee-yay! Isn't that lovely? All right, the second card down here, K2. He's also going to be automatically spotted. Let's see what he shows up with. Alright, so we're going to remove the King of Diamonds. We know what that was. Here comes the second card. Dun, 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 dun. Good grief, man. That tank is toast. Yeah, that tank stepped into an anthill for sure. King of Clubs is this group. The other Viet Cong group. With an RPG. Because he didn't have enough problems. I think we already lost the tank, guys. We may have already lost the tank. Okay, that's the guy here in K2. I'm going to remove that unknown counter and replace it with known tangos now. Alrighty. Remove that card. That's no longer in the pool. Alright, what else is automatic? Okay, Mike 7. Mike 7 is automatic because Captain McDonough did just run into him. Fortunately, I'm in buildings, so if I do take opportunity fire, I should be okay. Alright, what is in Mike 7? Let's find out. Good God. Oh, Jack. Nothing. Cool. He kind of pried open that door with the end of his M1911, and there was nothing in there. Sweet. And then these 2 cards. I'll do K11 first. K11 is, man, these tanks are not doing so well, man. Well, they're doing their job. They went in there and they found the enemy. What did I say that? Whoops. What did I say that was? That was, oh yeah, K11. Alright, K11, remove that unknown counter. You know what's there now. 2 squads of NVA regulars. Or People's Army of Vietnam, to use the correct term. Okay, and now Lima 10. Come on, give me a break. I don't have to fight the whole enemy force at once. Queen. Okay, cool. Nothing there. Alright, so this tank in the south isn't completely screwed. Last but not least, let's see what Ramucci found over here in November 11. Alright, Ramucci, what'd you find? Okay, we have a firefight. Ramucci is about to get lit up. He just walked into an NVA ambush. 10 of hearts. I take that back. He ran into a Viet Cong ambush. Alright, we found all the Viet Cong. That didn't take long. And now the Americans are going to get the hell shot out of him. Because he's in the open, I'm afraid. Okay, so now we have done all the automatic spots. Save the file. And check out what's going on in Mr. Chat. Alrighty. Oh, Gaz, welcome to the chat, sir. Gaz says, I like the use of cards for random generation. It's okay. Doubles roll again, says Warblebite. No, we're not playing Monopoly. Okay, let me start back where we were here. Vietnam had the best music. I can't argue with that. Doesn't like Fortunate Son, that's because he likes Satisfaction. I do prefer Satisfaction. I was actually correct. Yes, guys, welcome to the chat. Hendrix. I should definitely, yes, Ben wins the prize, though, okay, between Fortunate Son and, what was the other one? Satisfaction, The Doors. Jim Morrison and The Doors. Ben knows me well. At least on the first turn. Oh, yeah, the good old Wagner. I get reference. Okay. Makes sense to have your anti-armor set up to ambush near the north road and the south track. Yeah, but again, I don't have an opponent today, so my the enemy is kind of randomized. It would be cool if I could say that the communists set up that way intentionally, but again, it's kind of randomized with these cards. But it does kind of seem like they did at least a partial plan, especially to the north, man. That tank is a literal turtle in an ant pile right now. Holy crap. Alright guys, let's get this over with. This first turn and a half is going to be really, really ugly. I hate to say it. I really, really do. Oh man, this is going to suck. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so, opportunity fire. As that tank was coming in. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit here. Alright, we're looking at an RPG. That RPG is definitely going to go ahead and take a shot. It needs an 8 or less to hit, I do believe. Let me triple check. Yes, 8 or less to hit. Alright, 7 or less on this RPG. Of course they hit. They hit on a 6. Alright, that is a penetration of C versus D. We'll see if the Marines are the Marine. I'm sorry. We'll see if the tank's armor held. It's possible. Armor rating of D versus C. No, the other way around. C versus D, 5 or less. Okay, we'll see if the armor held. Please let the armor have held. Alright, here we go with the 5 or less to see if that RPG penetrates that tank. Cool, the armor did not, the armor held and did not penetrate the tank. First piece of luck. Very good. So that's him done and him done. I'm not going to get too many more chances like this. I'm going to go ahead and commit some of my anti-tank grenades. I'm going to throw in 2 out of my 3 anti-tank grenades to this attack. Okay, same chance to hit, because it's considered an anti-tank weapon, I believe. Technically, it's an anti-tank weapon. These are house ruled anyway. Not me. Other people in the Valor Victory community for anti-tank grenades. All right, so here we go. Again, you're allowed to use grenades in direct fire phase or opportunity fire phase when the enemy is point-blank range, which in this case he definitely is. So again, we're looking for 7s or less to hit. So I'm going to roll for both of the hits first. Boom, that's a hit. And boom, that's a hit. These also again penetrate on a C. So we're going to go ahead and use, again, we need a 5 or less to penetrate. Okay, that's a penetration. That tank is smoked. And the second one, it doesn't really matter now, but he already threw it. Alright, cool. That tank is now smoked. Oh no! Okay, so per Valor and Victory Modern Edition rules, this is where we get into my rules. There's always Barry's rules, and then there's always my rules on top of that. We roll a d6 to see if the crew survived or is a casualty. Here we go. That's a good roll because we always went low here. The crew did survive, so that's going to be a half squad. That represents the crew. The tank is smoking. I'll get the smoke counter in just a second. Alrighty. So that is... This whole stack is now fired. And now he's probably going to get toasted in the rest of opportunity fire. We have a grand total of 18... No, 8 and 8 is 16. Plus the sapper is 20. Pretty sure he's toast. That puts him up here on the blue row. Subtract, add 2 for the woods. Plus 1 for the commander. So a net Add 1 to this die roll. 7 becomes 9. That is 1 casualty point. He's now pinned down. Okay, and that is going to be it here. She did not throw her satchel charge. The sapper did not. Okay, so that tank is now smoked, and this guy, the crew, managed to escape. They're now pinned down behind and beneath the tank. Not to last very long, because I'm pretty sure they're going to get assaulted during the NVA turn, or I should say the Viet Cong turn. Technically, that wasn't the Viet Cong turn. That was during the American movement phase. So yeah, things aren't looking so hot there to the north. To the north, I should say. But then again, the more they throw the tank, the less they're throwing at this vulnerable infantry that just landed here in the middle of this field. We'll see what happens. Other opportunity fire. We just did that whole stack. Down here. Oh god. Down here things are going to get rough. Okay, Ramucci. Oh jeez. 20. He's going to go ahead and fire the RPG because why not? Equals 24 plus the PKM machine gun in there, that's 27 plus the AK of the commander, 29. Right? Did I do that right? 16 plus it's 24. Yep, 29. Oh wow. Subtract 2 from the die roll. The commander's in there. Okay, we're gonna cause some horrific American casualties here. I'm gonna commit 2 grenades to subtract 2 more from my roll because why not? We're now subtracting 4 from the from this opportunity fire check because it is point blank range. He's in the open. -2 commander. Actually, it's -6 off this roll. Right? -2 for opportunity fire, point blank in the open. Yep. -2 for the commander, -2 for the grenades. 29 at -6. Yeah, these guys are dead. He's on the orange, he's on the yellow row right there, 29, and he's going to be subtracting 6 off this roll. Ramucci, it was nice knowing you, buddy. Your whole squad's about to get wiped out. 7 minus 6 is a 1. That is 9 casualty points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can I get cheesy with that at all? I don't think so. Give me just a second here. If I split that squad in 2... Oh no, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I take off 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there's no easier way to kind of soak up that damage. That was a squad and a half. Two full squads. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. You look at the last number as the casualty figure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 for the full squad, 1 for each, 1 each for the half squad. That's 4 casualties in that stack, or in that X. That is not so hot. And Ramucci's in there by himself. Okay, that's them done, and these grenades are now expended. Okay, RPG is going to try and hit this other patent down here, who's also in woods, which is good news. I forgot to give that guy cover bonus for the woods, but that's okay. That 1 grenade easily hit him. So I forgot to give him for the grenades. Actually, no, I didn't. I subtracted 2 from the die roll. Sorry. So again, we need 7 or less with the -1 commander in there. That is a 7. That did barely hit, and it did not penetrate. All right, cool. So RPG hissed out of the jungle there and did hit that tank, but did not penetrate the armor. Awesome. That was at least that guy's opportunity fire. This guy's opportunity fire is going to go ahead and they're going to be spotted automatically. In fact, they just did get spotted because of that RPG. So they might as well take their shot now. Now the commander has already done his bonus, but that's still 9 plus 9. These are NVA squads, so they're a little better. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 3 for the PKM is at 21. Okay, not point blank, so I don't get to use any kind of opportunity fire. I mean, bonus. Scraping past the civilian hex, but they don't care about that anyway. So that's a grand total of, 21 points. Everything's in range. No commander bonus. I'm in the open. Yeah, the Americans are going to get the hell kicked out of them on the first 2 turns. The first turn. After that, I'm calling in that artillery and that snake and nape. Plus, I've got gunships that can spot. Yeah, after that, that's why the NBA and the Viet Cong are being so aggressive here. This is their one good swing. They have to do a lot of damage right now. So, okay, we're on 21. Where does that put us? Here on the blue row. No subtractions, no additions. Straight out roll. Here we go. That's a good roll, too. Jeez. 5 casualty points. The Americans are getting massacred out here. There's not 5 casualty points in the hex. Boom. Splat. And there's 2 more casualty points. They just wiped out that whole stack. Oh boy. Okay. And then everything else is still hidden, and we've already rolled to see that they are keeping their cover. So they're not revealing any other positions right now. That is going to be it for opportunity fire. Defensive fire, again, they also took their defensive fire. Now we're going to go with American assault and advance and assault phase. Okay, so all whatchamacallit units get to move 1 hex. All infantry units get to move 1 hex. Ramucci staying there. Don't want to stay there. I don't want to move next to him either. I'm just going to go ahead and duck south. Take some kind of cover, and I hope that's a blank hex. Oh, these guys. Yeah, these guys definitely need to start moving. Okay, that'll be it. Alright, that concludes most of the American turn. We now go to after action phase. Okay, I want to try to rally that tank crew up there. Come on, tank crew, you need to rally, dude, trust me. If you don't rally, you're about to get overrun big time. Oh, one very, very, very important assault and move. Sorry, I did forget one. This one's really important. He needs to get up there so we can get an angle on these hexes, at least partially, in case they try to assault him, which they're going to try to assault him. I gotta be able to provide some kind of cover. I'm pretty sure that tank crew is lost. Let me go ahead and try and rally him just in case. He fails to rally anyway. Bye, tank crew. There's another unsecured casualty. Okay, this guy, Ramucci, is going to try to evacuate one of these casualties. He's a -1 commander. He applies it to himself. 7. Because of his -1 commander, he did manage to successfully evacuate 1 casualty point before he gets overrun. These weapons are also toast. He gets to keep 1 of them. He'll keep the law because it's got the biggest bang. These M60s are now lost. Okay, alright. Sorry, I was just making sure I wasn't missing anything else. Those 2 casualties have nobody to evacuate them yet, so they're just kind of stuck there. That was also my medic. My medic just went down, or one of my medics. That's good news. So those 2 guys are literally bleeding out. Those 2 fire teams are literally bleeding out in the rice paddy there. Yeah, things are pretty rough already. Alright, cool. That will conclude the American turn. We now go to Vietnam turn. We're going to use the spotted unit activation table to see what they do. I'm pretty sure I know what they're going to do, but again, we're just experimenting here. That's going to be an assault. There's no reason they wouldn't assault that. What's this guy going to do, this little fire team? Withdraw? Where would he withdraw to? Unless he wanted to go off the table. No, that's bullshit. Alright. Alright, cool. So I'm going to roll for these three guys. Whoa, that's just not what I wanted to do. Roll for these three potential units down here first. I should say 4. There's 4 of them down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to look here at our activation table here. A 3. They're going to go to take cover. They want to establish positions from fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing's in range. Okay, according to what I just rolled, this unit is going to take a shot at this unit right here. This unit is not in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card here for E8 and G12. Okay, so first, E8 is the Ace of Spades. That's one of the enemy command groups. In fact, it is the enemy command group. The little AI chart says he just revealed his position to drop a mortar barrage on me. Okay, and then also for G12. Good grief, man. Hey, we're finding everybody quick. At least, oh, man. That is one of the douchekas. Okay, say goodbye to one of our helicopters. Holy crap, man. This is a nightmare. This is like every bad Vietnam movie happening at once. Okay, that was for those 4 units down there. This group of 3 right here. Let's see what they're into. Spotted unit activation table. He rolls a 5. Go for a fire and assault. Okay, what's the closest unit that they could possibly assault? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't quite make it. 1, using the road. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so only 1 unit could make it to an assault. Fire and assault. So this unit's going to fire to pin down this fire team. This guy's going to assault. So first of all, let's see what E4 really is. Queen, nothing. We got assaulted by nobody. And who just fired at us to conduct this non-existent assault? Queen, that is also nobody. Alright, so some good news in the north. We also have this last unit here. What's he going to do? He is going to... Well, I have to roll for it. What am I doing? That's the point of this silly little chart here. To sort of approximate a, again, very rudimentary AI mechanic. Okay, so a 4 is to just basically open fire on somebody. Go for fire. He does have line of sight on potential targets, so if he's a real unit, he's literally just going to open fire on this medic team. It's super easy. Alright, so what is he? Ace of Diamonds. I think that's my other Dushka crew. Nope, that's another NVA. Oh my god, there's like an NVA battalion up here. Look at this. Where is a napalm strike when you need it? Look at how jam-packed these guys are in here. Holy crap. Okay, again, 18 plus 3 is 21, plus 9, because he's going to fire an RPG, that's 30, 32, negative 1, plus 2 for woods, 31 plus 1 net. That is on the yellow row. Oh, man. Another good roll. 6 becomes a 7 on the yellow row. That is 4 casualty points. There's only 4 casualty points in there. There's no way to save them. Toast. And that is 2 more casualty markers. Okay. Well, that was less than pleasant. That concludes the NVA fire phase. Now we're going to go to NVA movement phase. Oh no, this guy hasn't fired yet down here. All right, super fast. Let's zoom in a little bit. The Dushka is going to go ahead and take a shot at one of those landed helicopters. He only needs to hit with a... He basically only needs to hit. And he's got a -1 commander in there, so he's probably going to hit. He is landed. So, yeah, not so good. Landed helicopters are terribly, terribly vulnerable. He is considered a gun at 10 or less hexes. Right? AT weapons. Okay, he needs to roll an 8 or less. Make that a 9 or less because he has a +1 commander. And there is no cover, terrain cover for the Huey, obviously. You can't land in trees. So this is not going to be good. Holy crap! He missed. Now here's the bad news. That was technically an anti-tank shot. So a sniper did not appear. Snipers appear when you roll boxcars on an anti-personnel firepower check. That is chapter and verse out of the Valor Victory book. This was technically an anti-tank shot. He wasn't shooting his 6 and 10. He was shooting his A-class armor-piercing weapon. If he had just hit that Huey, the Huey is non-armored. There's no armor check. The Huey just blows up. A landed Huey cannot take a sustained burst from a Dushka at, like, what is that? You figure 20 to 30 meters, say 25 meters per hex, 50 meters away, that Huey's toast. There's no way. Fortunately, this guy just wildly missed. Okay, and that did include the commander's bonus. Okay, so now this guy, like I said, is also going to fire, and he's going to take a scraping shot past this unit like we determined on the AI chart. That's going to be a grand total of 12. No commander's bonus. He has to scrape past H12, so it's going to add 1 to his die roll. That one's not too bad. So here we go. 12. That puts him on the gray table. He has to add 1 to his die roll. That is a 7 on the gray, 2 casualty points. Okay, that's survivable. I can go ahead and pin down both units. And actually, nobody got killed there. Alright, cool. Alright, that's going to be it for... now we're done with Viet Cong and NVA fire. Go to Viet Cong and NVA... Oh! American... Or we now technically go to movement. We've done the movement already. We did stuff a little bit out of order here. Okay, no unit has moved and fired though, so that's the good news. Oh, we never fired these mortars. Sorry, I wasn't quite done yet. There are 2 mortar teams up here. Who the hell are they going to shoot at? You know what? I know I already figured this out, but I just totally missed these guys. -2. Yeah, they're just going to fire on that. Who was that down there? O'Neill? Yeah. Sorry, O'Neill. You're out of gas. Alright, so that unit has already taken 2 casualty points. You have to assess that all at once. So I'm just going to go ahead and... That's the 2 casualty points from this fire that we just did. We're now going to add 12 points of mortar fire with a +2 commander. Good God almighty, man. This might be a short stream. This whole AI deck thing may not have worked. The Americans are getting the shit kicked out of them. Alright, so now we go to 12. And again, we're subtracting 2 from the roll. Oh, man. Oh, and they rolled snake eyes. Someone just became valorous. They technically just rolled a 0 on the 11 to 12. Yeah, that's 7 more casualty points. He's dead. That's 3 more casualty points, actually. Because it's a full squad in there. Alright. Well, another disastrous failed stream, everybody. I'm so glad you could be here to witness it. Alright. And that is that. Okay. Next. Now, after all that, we are finally done with movement and fire. Now comes... or during the movement, we would then do opportunity fire, but they didn't really move anywhere, except for up here, and I didn't really have anybody that could see them. We're now going to go ahead and jump to defensive fire. Okay, the Americans finally get to start opening fire on people. Oh, God. Unfortunately, there's not much I can see. At least not this super squad up here. Warren's team. He's on fire. He's pinned down. These choppers can do something, so I'll go ahead and do that. Oh boy. 5 versus this unit here in the woods, but I have to add 2 to the roll. So basically now I need 5s or less, because they cannot combine together. That's not how it works. That's okay. I'll go ahead and take this shot, though. This guy was not pointing in the right direction. Helicopters are technically vehicles, and in Valor and Victory, vehicles do have a facing, and it does matter. So while I can't turn around and fire my rockets back at this group, I can fire my rockets at this group. So I will go ahead and do that. Alright, so first of all, let me do my crappy door gunners. Maybe one of them will get lucky. Nope. Second one. Oh, there we go. That helped. That helped. Okay, one of them actually did something. That was a modified 2. That is going to be 6 casualty points. Oh, I did have to add 2 for woods. Sorry, so that became a 4. That's still not bad. 4 casualty points out of this stack here. I can pretty much pin down this whole stack. By pinning down 4 units, I take no casualties, but that's going to help. At least that's going to dampen a potential assault on my tank wreck, and also down there towards, who is that, Elias? Elias and Barnes are the only 2 guys left. Oh, man. Okay. Alrighty. This guy can see. Is he in range though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, he is. And he's in range of everything. Awesome. So, Barnes! Come on, Barnes. Do it for us. We got to start turning it around. I got a grand total of 14 in troops, plus 3 for the M6. The extra M60 is a grand total of 17 points. Minus 1, plus 2. So plus 1 net. I need a good roll here. That wasn't a good roll. That becomes a 9. He missed. God damn it. The only decent attack I had. Okay, now I've got door guns, I've got forward firing arc guns, and I've got my rockets. So that's 18 plus 6 is 24, plus 18 plus 6 is 24, plus 5 is 29. Oh boy. Pretty please. Pretty please. Oh shit. Okay, cool. 4 on the 29 row. I do have to add 2 to that for woods. That becomes a total of 6 on 29. Please be good. Yeah, just got me on the yellow table. 4 on 29 is 7 casualty points. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 5 casualty points in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Toast. Yes, let's destroy the map while we're at it. That's a great job, Jim. You're doing great as always. Boom. Okay, that helped. Now that 18 was his forward firing rockets. That's all he can do. He can fire his machine guns for the rest of the game, but that rockets, that big 18 number, that was his one swing with those. He just basically just fired his wing-mounted rockets. Okay, moving south. We have some more guys that can see lots of stuff. Okay, cool. So 5 for this door gunner. Oh, this guy cannot shoot. At least not at them. Why? He'd be shooting through a hex occupied by civilians. Cannot do that. Against the laws of war. However, he can shoot at these guys. So this helicopter will fire into that hex. This helicopter will fire into this hex. This helicopter will fire into that hex. And hopefully chew some people up here. Alrighty. And then I'll check out Mr. Chat. Alright, so first, Huey, again, has 5 points. Basically, I need a 5 or less to do anything. Because I have to add 2 for woods. Or for jungle, technically. Nothing there. The other guy, the other Huey. Nothing there. Okay, now I need a good roll. 29, again, please give me a good roll. 5 plus 2 becomes 7. 7 on the 29 row. Yes, I did fire my rockets. That is 4 casualty points. Okay, I knock him down to a half squad. That pays for 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and pin him down. So the Dushka is still up. Okay, cool. Now we're going to go to, what else do we have defensive fire over here? Oh, we have a tank. That is point blank to a very nice, big, juicy, squishy target of guys. 20 points plus 6. Oh, that's the main gun and the roof-mounted 50 cal. Of course I don't get a good roll. I don't get any kind of roll. Oh, frig. Ramucci and his law, and Ramucci is also going to commit 1 grenade because he's point blank. So that's 1 grenade committed. So that is 2 plus 3 is a total of 7. 2 plus 3, what do you mean? 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is a total of 7. -1 for the grenade, -1 for Ramucci himself. So plus 2 for Woods. So it becomes a wash. And my dice rolling continues to be ass. Yep, what'd I tell you? 9 on 7. That was his last shot before he's overrun. That was nothing. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do an assault on this tank. We have 9 plus 9 plus 3 is a total of 18, 21 versus the 26. 1 to 2 odds. He may not do the assault now, because it's like a 1 to 2 odds. So the way you do assaults versus vehicles, we haven't done this very often, is you pretty much just pretend that Valor Victory, guys, hates tanks. Alright, tanks are terrible in Valor Victory. It makes a kind of sense, because why is a tank fighting an infantry squad in woods at less than 25 meters? That's not the way you use tanks. So by the time the tank has arrived, because of the scale and the type of battle that Valor Victory covers, by the time a tank has arrived on a Valor Victory battlefield, it's already made 20 mistakes. This tank should be 50 boards away, lobbing 90 or 100, in this case 90 millimeter shells from the next zip code. But it hasn't done that here, so he's in trouble. Nevertheless, I think he's okay. 9 plus 9 plus 3. The RPG is pinned, thank goodness. 9 plus 9 plus 3 is 21. Plus 2 is 23. The tank has a total of, I'll zoom in a little bit. The tank has a total of 26. 20 for the main gun and 6 for the roof mounted 50 cal. So he is less than, therefore 1 to 2 odds. It's 20, what did I say, 23 versus 26. So for him to assault, he needs a 5 or less. Make that a 6 or less because he's an officer. He can throw in his last anti-tank grenade. Now he needs a 7 or less. Okay, now it's not quite so suicidal. Let's see what happens. I mean, what the hell? 7 or less. Blow up the tank. Do it! I'm actually rooting for the Vietnamese at this point because the Americans are doing so badly. An 8. Oh, they just missed. They needed a 7 or less. You guys saw me do that math. 1 to 2 is a 5 or less. -1 for the officer, -1 for that last anti-tank grenade equals a grenade, because he's using it in an assault and not in direct fire like we did up north. So that's a grand total of, he needed a 7 or less, and he just rolled an 8. That's a failed assault. The tank survives, and he blew the roll by 1. There's 1 unit in the hex, plus 2 for the woods. Makes a grand total of 4 casualty points he has to pay. I'm going to reduce this squad to a half squad. That got me my 4, and then I'll pin down that half squad. And that's the last anti-tank grenade. Okay, here's the assault that's not going to go so badly. Add these numbers up. 2 for the Viet Cong captain. 10, because you can use an RPG in an assault. It's a light support weapon. 10, 18, 24, 27 versus 2 plus 5 is 7. What did I say that was? 27 versus 7? That's not quite 4 to 1. 3 to 1 odds. Yeah, Ramucci's going to throw in a grenade just because. He probably shouldn't, but he's not going to die for no reason. -2 for the commander. -2 for the grenade and for Ramucci. Unless the I'm on 3 to 1. I'm not going to waste a grenade. Not going to waste a grenade. Okay, we'll see if the Viet Cong can roll 9 or less. Ramucci, do it. It's Silver Star time, buddy. An 8. They did succeed, but barely. Okay, so Ramucci's toast. Sadly. That's another casualty. Oh, by the way, I now occupy this hex. Which means these 4 casualties are unsecured. These 4 casualties are unsecured, i.e. captured, i.e. bayoneted, i.e. who knows what. Game purposes, double victory points. So the Americans are losing really bad. I mean, it's getting scary. You know what I realized I never did? I never did bleed out checks at the end of the American turn. Let me do that super fast. One of them is dead. The end of the American turn when I was supposed to do bleed out checks. I-9. They're okay. India 12. There are 3 casualties in there. Ooh, they're okay. Alright. They're about to get captured and overrun anyway, but... Alright, this guy is also an unsecured. We got 5 unsecured casualty points. That's 40 victory points for the Vietnamese already. Oh boy. This whole battle was a horrible mistake. Alright, and we'll now try to rally our... Oh wait, let's finish the assaults up here. Because why not? Alright, Elias. It's your time to shine, buddy. Okay, that's going to be an assault. These guys assault into this hex and automatically kill him. He's another unsecured casualty. Make that 45 plus this 4. I don't even know. It's out of control. Come on, get in the hex. Okay, let's wrap this up down here. Alright, Elias, it's time to shine. We got a grand total of technically only 2 infantry units in there. This is going to be the mother of all opportunity fires here. Oop, wrong guy's grenades. I'm going to go ahead and commit 2 grenades to an opportunity fire check. Now I have a grand total of 1, 2, 14, 18 total points. -1, -3, +2 for wood, so 18 -1. Oh, rat's ass. That puts me exactly at the top of the grade table. Alright, well, shit. Let me go ahead and do it for whatever it's worth. So that is 6. I get to subtract 1 is 5. 4 points. We're gonna go. I want to carry this assault in. Knock those 2 full squads down to half squads. And now the assault goes in. I have a grand total of, again, 18 points. We already know that. He has a lot. 12, 16. It's barely 1-to-1. Okay, it's barely 1-to-1. He has 4 infantry units in there, which means he gets to commit 4 grenades. 1, 2, 3. I've got a full squad, and Elias, I'm going to commit 2 grenades. That many grenades are now used up. Both sides are running out of grenades quickly here. So we wind up with a 1-to-1 with a +1 modifier. He has to roll a 7 or less. Please, please fail this. It's Elias. Literally, he's running away from the helicopter in that classic scene from the movie. No! He's literally, except now he's got a full squad of guys with him, with a blooper. Oh man, come on, dude. If this roll fails, it would be glorious. Do it, man. Do it. 7 or less is a Viet Cong success. 10! That is a fail. Awesome. Elias stood tall. Okay, so he needed a 7. He got a 10. He failed the roll by 3. Plus there's 2 infantry units in the hex. Plus there's 2 for woods. That's a total of 7 casualty points that cost him. That's 1, 2, 3 destroyed and pinned down the officer. The officer is going to choose to go ahead and hold on to, what do you think, guys? The RBG or the, I'm just going to roll for it, RBG or the PKM? He keeps the PKM. Now, unfortunately, there were 4 units in there, which means I have to take 4 casualty points. My man Elias did take some casualties in doing that. So first off, I'm going to knock that full squad down to a half squad. That gave me 4. No, it gave me 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and pin him down to pay for my 4th casualty point. Alright, that is going to conclude the communist turn. We now go to turn 2, and I'll check out what's going on in Mr. Chat. Probably a lot. I hope a lot. Let's see what happens. Oh my god. Now it's the American turn. We're going to start off with command phase, and that means airstrikes and artillery for your ass. The tables have turned. I hope. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Wow, there's a lot going on here in the chat. Oh my god. Alright, Not sappers versus a tank. Unfortunately for me, Ben, they didn't even need the sappers. The sapper is still carrying her satchel charge, so you didn't even need it. I think with the regular anti-tank grenade took care of it. Anti-tank grenades are almost as bad, in fact they are as bad as RPGs when you get within 1 hex or less. Like IE and assault, and they're in the same hex. Because what the enemy is doing is they're jamming the grenade into the tracks, or under the turret ring, or into the gear, the stowage bin, or something like that, into the suspension, into the engine grill. Who knows what they're doing? Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. An RPG, the trade-off there is that it has a range, and you can hit the tank with the same anti-tank firepower. It's still a C, but from a much greater distance. So, cool. That's going to be interesting, Piotr. Yeah, this whole battle just kind of went off the rails. I'm hoping with this command phase, I can just call in enough pure firepower to level it off. I did make the NVA or I should say the NVA and Viet Cong very powerful because they're being controlled by a deck of cards. They're not going to have a whole lot of real strategy to them. Or real tactics. It's pretty much whatever the dice and cards say they do, they do. So I made them pretty powerful to just basically, it's like when you fight the AI in a computer. How does the game make it challenging? They just give you a lot of them. They did draw some really good cards though, and yeah, like that one tank just walked into a friggin' ambush, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 3 halves. That's 7.5 squads. That's like 60 men. They just literally walked into an ambush, including sappers, including anti-tank grenades, including RPGs. Turtle dropped into an ant pile, and the infantry was too far behind. So, shit, not so hot. Garrett says, makes sense to have your anti-armor set up ambush near the north road to the south track. Yeah, it worked out that way, just because of the cards. Like I said, the communists drew some pretty good cards. I think the cards are from another system, and he pulled it into Valor Victory. I could be wrong. I missed the beginning of the stream. Lots of guys do that. Lots of games do this, where you draw your cards, where you draw some kind of a card to control some enemy forces or whatever. It's your basic hidden movement, except I have to kind of hide it from myself. We don't know what all these cards are or what these little tiles are. Some of them are real, some of them are imagined. It's 50-50. 8 of them were real, 8 of them were imagined. Again, the 4 jacks are all imagined, and the 4 queens are all imagined. Right now, there's only 1 real unit left. I haven't found yet. I haven't drawn the ace of clubs. After that, it's all fictitious. It's all nothing. So, yeah, this battle's going to wind up hopefully by the end of turn 3. And I know the Americans have taken way too many losses. I don't think we're going to turn it around just on points, but who knows. We have to take some prisoners. If this was a live game, I would be pretty sure that the Americans have lost on points. They're still going to table the communists, but I think pretty sure the Americans have lost on points. The only way the Americans can really do much now is if they straight out table the Viet Cong. Which reminds me, I forgot to roll to rally. I have to roll to rally some Viet Cong and NVA in the north. Remind me to do that once I catch up on the chat. It would be a tarot deck of cards. Yeah, pretty much any. Yeah, this is a pretty good game. A pretty big game, Ben. It is. The Viet Cong I keep calling them Viet Cong. The PAVN and NLF started off with a combined total of 33 fire teams. So 33 times 4, roughly, plus officers. Yeah, that's a lot of guys. At least a company-sized game. Sitrep podcast. I cannot believe you're doing helicopters without me. We were talking about. I wanted to do this one solitaire because it's a lot of rules. I mean, you have to. The point of the game, Sitrep 6, is to showcase the rules that are in the Valor and Victory modern expansion. So I wrote that book, so I know the book pretty well. You have to know the book like you wrote it, in order to otherwise, we would literally be spending 3/4 of the stream explaining the rules. We can always do this kind of game again if you want, but that was the reason I wanted to do this one. I wanted to do this one solitaire, is to just demonstrate how the rules work. Oops. What else is going on here? Ben says me too. I'm not sure what me too is. But I got home from Chattanooga at 5:45 this morning. Yeah. I have literally not slept today. I think I got like a 20-minute nap. A little bit earlier. Oh, we're talking about the beeps. I got you. No worries. It was chat settings for the one with forums on chat. It was because the Discord bot was automatically reading every comment as a post in Discord, and Discord alarms are on for my chat. So yeah, we turned that off. No worries. Yes, it was the restream bot. Okay. That is framed up perfectly, says Because Science Teacher. That magic moment. Uh-oh. Oh, Ferdinand Rudolph. Hello. Welcome. How are you doing? I get the feeling the Jim wants the USA to win. Yes, I am playing. The point of the game is a solitary game. I'm playing the Americans, and I'm trying to defeat this Viet Cong force and NVA force. I'm going to defeat the force, but I've taken way too many losses, and not just losses, but like guys that did not make it back to the helicopter, like true dead or even worse prisoners. If I don't take some prisoners in return, prisoners are worth triple points, I'm really going to be in trouble. Let's see here. Yep, America, you might be right, Gaz. Ben Johnson got to run. If you're still playing after 2, I'll be back. Okay, I have a funny feeling we will be. I would have kept the 60. The law is one and done. More rate of fire. Well, I knew he was dead. Sitrep podcast. You're talking about Ramucci in the south. I knew he was dead. And I was just literally just going for the 2 more points. In any other situation, I totally agree. Totally agree. I would keep that 60. Goodbye helicopter. He actually managed to get away with that one. That was just a lucky roll for the Americans for a change. Yeah, it's there's a lot going on here with the dice. Everybody, I won't read every comment because there's a lot going on here. I'm loving the idea of the guys hearing the helicopters inbound, racing to their firing positions at the end of the woodland areas. They're ready to ambush incoming forces. Yep, that's for sure. Proof that even basic AIs will kill us all one day. Yeah, I tell you what, if this AI can kick my ass, I stand no chance against Skynet. I'm losing to a deck of cards and some 6-siders, man. I got no chance versus Skynet. Landing zone Albany. Yep. Again, we're not doing a specific battle here today, but you know, we're just doing like a day in the life of mid 68, either first or second corps area, depending. Somewhere up north because there's not that much jungle on this map. Okay, it's not a failed stream, buddy. Surely it's just the bell curve of the stats system. We have an unlucky game. The Americans are, I think, about to turn it around. What really, really helped was Elias standing tall against that assault. Because I've got plans now within plans, especially up north. I'm pretty sure the Americans are about to really 1, 2, 3. I'm counting hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the Americans are about to seriously stomp. Depending on how that NVA rally check goes, you guys got to remember to do that rally check. That was some bad luck with the card deck. Technically, the random aspect of it all, dispositioned the forces very well. Yeah, it's almost like the game was really thinking. Sending the 173rd, the firefighters. Oh yeah, the 173rd. Why do they call it the herd? Yeah, you guys ever seen Platoon Leader? One of those million knockoff movies that came out after Platoon was big and successful, and I think it was 86 or 87. I think 88 or 89 came the Michael Dudikoff movie, Platoon Leader. That movie takes place within the 173rd. It's surprising how in Valor Victory the NCO survive. Well, the player gets to pick who survives and who doesn't. Some players like to knock out their NCOs first. I never do that. The leadership rules in Valor Victory are important enough. They're almost always, if I possibly have a choice, they're the last guys I kill. A 3-turn game, probably. Vorpal Bite, probably. It's nice to know you can play a short game with the system. Yeah, 173rd, 172nd was the herd. Okay, I thought it was the 173rd was the herd. That's like it rhymed. But Sitrep Podcast can probably correct me on that. Okay, so we're caught up on Mr. Chat. We are now going to go ahead. Oh, undo those rally phases. Okay, everybody here is pinned down, so there's no bonuses. None of them is elite, so they need 6s or less. Okay, the commander does not get to. Let me zoom in a little bit. The commander does not get to put in his bonus because he's pinned down too. He has to kind of rally himself. Okay, so first we'll roll for the commander. We'll see what's what. He succeeds barely with a 6. Okay, half squad fails. Full squad fails. Other full squad fails. He rallied and nobody else did. That's sweet. Oh, I got plans for you. Nagoyan try. I got, yeah. Elias is coming for you. If you're lucky, it's Elias. That's going to overrun your ass. If you're not lucky, it's going to be my man Barnes. Barnes, i.e. Tom Berenger. I'm not going to start quoting his lines. We'll get kicked off of Twitch. He swears too much. Okay, we'll see if this NLF officer makes it. Or he rallies. Negative Ghost Rider. Oh, you guys are so dead. Now, the tables have turned. Okay, now this officer does get to put in his -1. So these guys need a 7 or less instead of a 6 or less. I'll try him first. Nope. And I'll try him. Okay, he did succeed. Sweet. Oh, and we get this guy over here. Wow, a lot of them guys got pinned down. 7 or less, he got a 10, so no good there. And that's all of them, right? Okay. We now begin the American turn. First thing that happens in the American turn is the command phase. Command phase, everything rallies automatically. Everybody that's still alive, it was just the one. Okay, cool. Now we go to support missions. Oh no. Oh no, support missions. Oh no. The only real place, oh yeah. Support missions. Oh no. I'm not going to waste everything. So SMA is, again, submunitions artillery. It's basically a cluster bomb fired from artillery shells. CBD, conventional bomb munitions, and napalm. So, yeah. Basically, you've got your snake eye bombs, your fragmentation bombs, and here you have your napalm, your 1968 snake and nape. I want to nuke the hell out of this hex so hard. Like, really hard. Fortunately, I don't really have the right tools for it. I wanted to sort of showcase how some of these weapons worked, but I'm not really going to have the best opportunity to do it. Oh well, I'm gonna have to call in scatter bombs or cluster munitions in an inefficient way. Okay, so the way the cluster mission really works is, okay, that's not a fire mission. That's actually 4 fire missions. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4. You get to put it together in any shape that's, I would say square, but it's not really a square, it's more of a rhomboid. You got to put them together in any kind of a 4 interconnected shape. So you can have it configured like this, you can have it configured like that. You know, it just can't be in a row, like that's illegal. Obviously that's illegal. And of course it has to be, you can't like have that, it's got to be detached. Now I could, oh no, that's also illegal, never mind. Also I'd wind up nuking my tank, I don't want to do that. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna kind of waste this a little bit. But what the hell. Alright, so that's 1 submunition artillery shell that's gonna hit in there. My conventional bomb delivery, that's the one I really want to hit hard. I'm calling in all my fire missions, because, dude, the amount of losses I've already taken, it's on. It is on. And then the APOM area effect, again, also does that whole... now, I don't want to nuke my own casualties. I can't do that. So I got to be careful here. There's also artillery. I got to be careful of artillery. I mean, I'm sorry, civilians. I gotta be careful with my artillery around civilians. Because if this thing drifts and it lands on civilians and then the civilians die, I also don't know if those civilians are gonna move. And if they do move, they may run right into my artillery. I gotta kind of be careful here. Believe it or not, I do not want to nuke these 2 hexes. Nope, nope, nope. Alright, I don't want to take too much time on the chat. Because we'll be here all day. I'm cutting that awfully close. Okay, you know what? I'm going to move it up a little bit. Move it away from the casualties and away from those civilians a little bit. I still might wind up nuking my own landed helicopter with my airstrike. I gotta be careful with that. I would like to call in some artillery on these guys, but damn, dude. I mean, there's friendly birds, civilians, casualties, my own tank. That's gonna talk about dropping it in the pickle barrel. You gotta make sure you get that roll, man. That is. Oof. In fact, you know what? My airstrikes are more accurate than my artillery, so let me do that. Wow, this is really dangerous. I gotta make this roll. It's a pretty easy roll, but I've got it. I can't whiff it. Alright, so there's that airstrike. Get rid of these numbers. We already know what's up with that. Just save one of them. Select, select, select. No. Go away. Okay. And then I can use my artillery, my slightly less accurate artillery on these fools. This is some serious precision stuff. Alright, so I'm going to make sure I'm not overdoing this. 1, 2... That jet bomb strike only hits 1 hex. I'm going to use my last artillery barrage on that hex. I really want that hex badly beaten up, if not completely nuked. Oh god. Okay, I'm calling in all my fire missions at once. Here it comes. Okay, first we'll start down here to the southwest. Oh boy. 4 or less. Please. Out of the box. Try that again. 5. It drifts by 1 hex. Up is north. I'm sorry, up is always north. 1 is north. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It drifts directly south. Okay, at least it drifted further away from my helicopters and the civilians. The entire fire mission drifts 1 hex south, and fortunately for me, it still lands on the target. Thank you, cluster munitions. Poor man's nuke. Okay, so it's a heavy barrage that lands on those guys. Alrighty. So that is going to be the 4 row. Okay. There's no other bonuses that I can think of. Cluster munitions. The artillery and air support rules got a lot more complicated in Modern Edition. Yeah, it depends on the decade. It was definitely a 1 to a 4. If it was a 1991 mission, that 5 would have hit. Submunitions artillery. Thousands of grenade or mine-sized bomblets. Okay, cool. I'm not missing anything. Okay, please give me a low roll. For the love of God, give me a break. Whoa! That artillery shell literally landed on his head. I asked for a low roll. I got a low roll. I have to add 2 dice. I have to add 2 because he is technically in woods. But nevertheless, we are looking at a modified 4 on the orange row. That is 8 casualty points. Pretty sure that's the end of our friends down here. I'll just go ahead and remove these markers because we know we've used them. There is 2 points there, 1 point there, 1 point there because he's already pinned. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4 points in the whole hex. What did I say? I have to pay for 8. Yeah, they're dead. I think it's safe to say. Kabam! That was pretty sweet. And we didn't even kill our own casualties. Alright, here come the F5 Freedom Fighters. These guys hit on a 5. Oops, sorry for the pop there. These guys hit on a 5, and then they get to subtract 1. There's a rule in Valor Victory Modern Edition called the Decade Bonus. 60s and 70s, it's -1. 80s, -2. 1990s, -3, and so on. Yeah, weapons just get absurdly accurate. Okay, so 5 or less to hit on the intended hexes. Barely, but I did get it. Thank you, airstrikes are accuracy. And then I get to subtract 1 off of the check. +2 for woods, or jungle. Add 1 for... I'm only on the blue row, though. -1 +2, so it's a net +1. Because of the jungle. Okay, another 2 would be nice. Close! A 3! You guys are seeing these rolls, right? I'm doing them on camera. So 3, again, +1 is the net modifier, so that's another 4. 7 more casualty points. Napalm, baby. It sticks to kids. Okay, 7 casualty points. 5... 6, 7. So, kill that whole squad, that's 5. And then pin down these 2 is 6 and 7. So to pin down a unit gives you 1 casualty point. So some guys in there have survived. And I have no nearby infantry to take them prisoner. The tank can't really take them prisoner. I don't think that's not how tanks work. Maybe I can overrun them. I can't overrun them. They're not in clear terrain. But needless to say, that 90mm and that 50 caliber are going to be laying waste into that hex. Okay, over here to this one. 4 or less to land where they're supposed to. 5, they did miss. They drifted by 1 hex. 6, it drifts by 2 hexes. So this one did miss. North is 1. 6, it drifted northwest. So again, clockwise method, using this hex as a marker. Pretty please. This hex as a marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The whole thing drifts 1 hex northwest. Thank you, scatter munitions, and I'm glad there were no civilians nearby. So it all drifts forward, or I should say northwest 1 hex. They're still getting hit. Alright, no worries. Now let's go ahead and please try to roll low. They are in the open, so no bonus there. Just straight out 2 dice on the heaviest row of the game. Do it! Another good roll. Okay, the American luck has turned. Yeah, I saw a 2, a 3, and a 5. Those are 3 really good rolls back to back. I'm no longer going to complain about my dice rolling. That's a unmodified 5 because, again, there's no, whatchamacallit in there. There's no cover. That's what you get for occupying Ramucci's hex, you bastards. That's what you get. 7 casualty points. 1, 2, 3... Actually, I'm going to reduce both of those to half squads. That gave me a total of 4 points. I have to pay for how many? I have to pay for 7. And now I can pin down those 3. But do I want to do that? No, because this guy's going to storm down here and overrun me. Alright, so playing as the NVA player, or the Viet Cong player here, you don't want to pin down everything because you're within potential assault range. And pin down units are automatically destroyed in an assault. Okay, so I've already paid for a total of 4 points. Basically, you have the choice now as the commander to have your men stand to and take it on the chin, and a few of your men die, or everybody can take cover and everyone survives, but they're all pinned. You don't want to have everybody all pinned in this case, because what's going to happen? Dale Dye is going to come walking down that road and take you all prisoner, and I get points for all that stuff. So someone's going to have to die here so that I can put up some counterfire. That is going to be 6. And I'll pin down 1. That gives me a total of 7. Now I've got 2 active infantry units in there. The actual NLF captain plus a half squad, so at least he can still operate the PKM and the RPG. So if McDonough does come down the road, he'll at least have a welcoming committee. Alright, I think that's... Oh, nope, we got 2 more support missions. Holy crap. Alright, sorry guys, I'm going to go through this as quick as I can. Cluster bomb munitions. 5. Not cluster bomb munitions, conventional bomb delivery. Do it. That did miss. Damn it, my most accurate weapon missed. And it drifted 1 hex to the northeast and it hit nothing. Or northwest and it hit nothing. Alright, let's hope the artillery does better. The artillery landed right where it's supposed to. Alright, cool. So that is on the orange row, add 2 for jungle. I've had 3 great rolls. I could really use 1 more. 7's not bad. 7 becomes a 9. That's 3 casualty points. And that is the end of American support missions. Okay, 3 support points. I'm going to go ahead and knock him down to a half squad. Assuming I can find a half squad. That was 2. I have to pay for 1 more. I'll go ahead and pin down that half squad. That leaves lots of nice chunky firepower left for defense against Sergeant Warren up here. Jen, that's the guy who's played by the Ghoul. He's in platoon. He's only got a small role. I can't remember the real actor's name. He was also in Candyman, the old cheesy horror movies. He was the main henchman's right-hand man in the movie The Crow. He's been in a million movies. If you see him, you'll recognize him. He also played, here's an obscure reference, he played Worf's brother in Star Trek The Next Generation. Kern. He's one of those actors who, he's never been in anything like super famous. He's not like Robert Redford or anything, but he's been in a million little movies and TV shows. He was also in Platoon as one of the NCOs. Okay, so that's it for support missions. Now I'm going to go to American direct fire phase. Damn it. Alright, I'm going to have to do some fire maneuver here for Warren. Alright, Warren, you got to split up your force a little bit. What I wanted Warren to do was to be able to assault this hex. The problem is that those 2 artillery missions, that artillery mission and the airstrike, didn't quite soften them up enough. As you can see, the NLF still has some pretty powerful stuff in there. Especially that friggin' satchel charge. Oh boy. So I'm going to have to soften them up. The thing is, I can also soften them up with Huey fire if they hit. If they hit. But I don't know how much that's going to do. That takes place after movement, and that hasn't happened yet. This is where the turn sequence forces you to make a decision. Alright, I'm going to split the difference. Okay, Warren, what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and put 15 points into this attack. What does 15 get me? Can I get to 19? Damn it. Well, now I might as well not assault, because I'm only going to have that little bit left. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put in all this, and I'm going to hope the gunships do the rest. So now I have a total of 15, 21, 24. I should be easily on the next row. I'm easily into the blue row now. Okay, Warren is not going to put in his -1 because I want to save that for the potential assault. So I have to just add 2 to the result on the blue row. Oh man, wish me luck. It's time to get lucky. Come on, do it, do it, do it, do it. 7 plus 2 is 9 at 1 casualty point. Erg. He's going to slightly overpay. I want to keep these units up and active. Alright, so that's those four frontal units have fired. These back 3 units haven't. Alright, other American direct fire. There's not much American ground forces left. I got the hell beat out of me coming in. He is not going to fire because he's got other plans, trust me. He is not going to fire, he's got other plans. All these helicopters have other plans, including my gunship. Alright, over here to McDonough. I also wanted to assault N10, but again, do I have line of sight on N? Oops. Do I have line of sight? Survey says yes. Yes. I have a keyhole between these buildings and this tree line. Okay. Do I have the range? 1, 2. Oh boy. Yes, I do, but how much do I want to save for the potential assault? What's all left in there? Just 3 casualty points, and they're in the open. Okay, full squad with an M60. Full squad with an M60, that is a total of 15 points. 15 points, no subtractions, because I'm not throwing in my commander. Give me a break, man, please. I shouldn't complain. I've already had a really good support mission. Alright, so gray row, no subtractions. 11. God. Somebody was brought blank ammunition. Alright, so that did absolutely squadoosh. Alright, again, I'm going to have to rely on my helicopters. Okay, down here to direct fire. The tank is not going to move. He is going to open fire. He can actually fire at either one of these targets, but I'm going to go ahead and shoot at this close by one. Can McDonough get down there? One. Hold on. 1. Using the road movement rate. 1, 2. I have to use road movement rate. Works differently in Valor Victory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The tank is going to fire at these guys. Alright, so I got 26 total points. Come on, do something for a change. Tank! Seriously. There we go. 5, no penalties because he's not in the he's in the open. There's no officers inside the tank. So that becomes a grand total of 5. 26 on 5 gave me how many casualty points? 26 on 5. I'm on the blue row. 5 is 5 casualty points. I don't think there's 5 casualty points in there. I can kill those 2. I can pin him. Actually, I can kill him because he's pinned. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if I pin him, I think... What did I say? I have to pay for 5? Yeah. The most I can soak is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that stack's wiped out. Good job, tank. Alright, cool. That's going to conclude American fire phase. We now begin with... the tank doesn't have to worry about forward firing arc because it's obviously it has a turret. Okay, so now we do American movement phase, but before we do that, we have to roll for civilians, see what they're doing. I should have rolled for them at the beginning of the NVA turn, but I forgot to do it. So first of all, G6, I'll roll twice for them. Yes, they do move. I'm rolling twice because I forgot one last turn. D6, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Alright, K7, let's see if they move. A 1, 2, or a 3 a move, a 4, 5, or a 6 they don't. So even if I roll twice, they still don't move. They're comfortable in that hooch. No worries. This guy down here in the rice paddy, I'm just trying to do my job, man. He does move, or they move, and they move 6. They move north, west. Okay, cool. So that's it for civilian movement. That brings us now to vehicle and helicopter movement. Although Valor and Victory doesn't really require you to, doesn't really require you to move vehicles first like Panzer Leader does, but yeah, it's fine. Okay, this medic never fired, so he's going to join the guys that never fired, and we're going to do some movement. Without moving the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you see where I left the captain and the medic back there to evacuate those 2 casualties? These guys are going to go in here and going to take all these fools prisoner. The tank has fired, so it can't move. These are all casualties. Heading north, these guys fired, so they can't move. At least not yet. Low altitude helicopter. He's going to swing around. Ooh, boy. Helicopters have infinite movement, but you still kind of have to trace where you're going so that the enemy can have opportunity fire if he wants. Damn it. He's surprisingly tough to hit. You know what? I'm going to go to high altitude. You can change your altitude at the beginning or at the end of your movement. So at the beginning of his movement, he's going to gain altitude, and that way he has some easier lines of sight on the target that I want him to hit. So now I just have to make sure he's not directly behind a unit. I'm sorry, directly behind terrain. So now, if we look at the line of sight, or the line of fire, he's like this. He's no longer directly behind M2. Again, center dot to center dot, and I can attack him at least some distance in case he decides to take ground fire against me. These guys, of course, are no longer landed. They're going to lift off again. I think I'm going to have them be low altitude. And where do we go with these guys? I don't really want to use them as scouts. We've taken out the last, we've taken out the Dushkas. That's the biggest threat. You know what? I'm going to use them as scouts. They're going to head down here at low altitude. And I'm going to try to use them to spot the rest of these guys. There's only 1 unit left in here. I can't occupy trees. In fact, I can't spot with trees. Directly in front of my way, because again, I'm choosing to be at low altitude. Alright. This guy is going to go ahead and join his buddy up north at high altitude. 2 gunships. You cannot put 2 helicopters in the same hex. I'll have to, now there he does have screening fire, a screening, scraping, whatever you want to call it, because I'll be shooting right down the hex spine, but I can't, that's not a playable hex, and I can't put 2 helicopters in the same hex. They are too big. Helicopters are the one unit in this game that can never stack. Yeah, but we just, all these guys are at low altitude, so we don't have so many counters on the board. All these slicks here in the center, they're all low altitude. Okay, that's it for helicopter movement. Let's finish land movement. We've got a little bit of land movement so far. Oh, he has to make a booby trap check. And I did split into 2 stacks. Now I have to make 2 rolls. So first, the captain. Cool, no booby trap. Next, that half squad. Cool, got away with it. Took a little bit of a risk there and got away with it. Alright, Barnes. 1, 2, because he's crossing a stream. 3, 4. 5. I will take a smidge of opportunity fire from this guy. That is 2 points, -1. Red row, -1. Oh, that's not good. That's modified 4. That's 3 casualty points. That did cost me half a squad. It was actually kind of worth it, though. Okay. At the end of their movement, helicopters can go ahead and fire. So these 2 clowns here will go ahead and take their poke. Tell you what, though, before I do that, let me go ahead and roll on the unspotted fire check, just to make sure that last team that's out there doesn't shoot down one of my helicopters. Snake eyes, no fire. Alright, cool. Now, like I was saying, these 2 gunships are going to go ahead and put their non-rocket machine guns and door guns into that hex Lima 1. Okay, they cannot form a fire group because they're vehicles. That's not how it works in Valor Victory. I'll take my bad shot first. That is going to be 6 and 6. Again, that 18 does not count because I've already fired them. I only get to use that once a game. I fired off all my rockets already. So I only get 6, that's forward firing arc guns, that's basically chin mounted machine guns, and then 5 are the 2 door guns. So the reason they're 2 separate numbers is because they have 2 different firing arcs, is the short version. So 6 and 5 is 11. That still puts me barely on the gray row. I have to subtract 3, I think, because he is in woods and you have to scrape past woods. So 2 for these woods, 1 for these woods. So I have to add 3 to this. Oh, that's not so hot. That's why I brought both gunships up here. This is going to be a surprisingly tough roll. 8 plus 3 is 11. That was no effect. Next guy, I don't have to scrape by that first hex. I only have to shoot into the woods that they're in, so I'm only adding 2 to this roll. Same roll, same helicopter, just 1 less modifier. And that is an 8 plus 10. That's another miss. Both those gunships missed. They're just filling these jungle up with bullets, Predator style, and they're not hitting anything. So now Warren will not launch that assault. And the direct fire phase has passed, which means he's going to sit there and pick his nose for a while. But trust me, you do not want to launch that assault with just the guys that haven't moved. Half squad and Warren, you don't want to go in there with 5 guys. Half squad of 4 men, one of them is carrying a blooper, and Warren himself, 5 men into a sapper team with a satchel charge, a Viet Cong officer, a Viet Cong's half squad with a PKM in woods. You will be chopped up like tuna salad. You don't want to do that. Okay, so that's it for the movement phase. Last thing I'm going to do is try and spot with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 helicopters. I'm just going to make it fast because the stream's getting kind of long. 5 total spots. Again, I have to roll 6 because all those potential NVA units are still undercover. So I need a 6 out of one of these. None so far. They didn't see anything. Come on, guys. Pay attention. Alright, so that's it for that. Cool. We now go to the advance and the defensive fire phase. He already took his opportunity fire, so nothing there. Oh, man. Okay, I will take some fire here. 4, 7, 11, 13, -1. +2 for woods. So it's going to be 13 +1. That's these guys shooting up here at Warren's squad, 2 squads. Alright. 7 + 1 is 8 on 13. That is 1 casualty point. I will pin down the half squad. Cool. And he already took his opportunity fire, so he gets no defensive fire. I think that's it. Alright, now we go to American advance and assault phase. Oh, there's a potential guy here too. Watch out for him. He already fired, so he can't do anything else. I was gonna like belly crawl him out into the street, but again, that could be an enemy force. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave him alone. Okay, first of all, this assault goes into this hex. All these guys are already pinned down, so these guys all count as POWs. No roll required, no casualties taken, because they were all pinned down. So that is 3 POWs. Now, if I can successfully evacuate those POWs, I am made in the shade. Here's the bad news, and again, this goes into the new Valor Victory rules that have been written for modern expansion. There is 1 infantry unit in there. Each infantry unit can only hold on to 2 POW counters. So, in the chaos of that assault, one guy or one little group escaped into the jungle. He still counts as a casualty point, but I can't take him prisoner. Okay, we have Elias and half squad, again, prisoner, automatic. And this guy doesn't get away because I have 2 infantry units in there and only 1 POW counter. Very good, very nice. Now here's the mother load. Full squad, half squad, officer. Although, you know what? I do have to make the roll here. And it's going to cost me some guys. It's going to cost me some guys. Oh, crap. Oh, no. Alright, you know what? He's going to join that assault. Because this assault was uncontested. Okay. I mean, winning isn't the hard, it's just the automatic cost for carrying out the assault that's going to be a pain. That is a total of 6 and 6 is 12, 14, plus the blooper is 18 versus 2. 9-to-1 odds. Again, I'm not worried about that. He's going to throw in his 1 grade because he's desperate. I'm going to go ahead and throw in a grade just because I can. There you go. So there's no change there. We both get -1 for our commanders. That's going to be a total of, yeah. I'm way past 4-to-1. So, yeah, it's a successful assault. However, there was 1 active infantry unit in the hex, i.e. the officer, and he was in woods. So that cost me a total of 3 casualty points. I do win, but I do have to pay 3 casualty points. That kind of stinks because, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's going to be 6 POW counters in there. I'm going to go ahead and pin all these guys down and hope to God I rally. Hope to God I rally. If I don't rally, those POWs escape at the end of the turn. I did have to kind of abandon that casualty back there. Okay, so now we are looking at the after action phase. Okay, after action phase. Number 1, medic. Automatically evacuates a casualty successfully. McDonough gets to roll. That roll is a 6 or less on 2d6. He is a -2 officer. He's going to apply that as a bonus to his own roll. Now he needs an 8 or less to evacuate that second casualty. He barely made it. So he saved that guy's life. Still a casualty, but doesn't count as double points. Alright, those 2 guys are evacuated successfully. This guy down here is going to try to evacuate a POW. He does succeed. But he's only 1 guy, so he can only evacuate 1 casualty, one POW. Now that gives me 3 victory points. That's how I'm hopefully going to come back points-wise and win this game. Or if maybe not win, at least not lose embarrassingly, is by taking prisoners. Elias, -1, bonus to his check. He's got it. You have to not just take prisoners, you have to successfully evacuate them. They basically become casualties. Now, none of these guys get to evacuate because they're all pinned. They have to rally. Oh, God, please. Please. At least one of them has to rally. Come on. Cool. Barnes rallies. Next. Sweet. Oh, thank God. Last one. Okay, the last one didn't make it. So that is 2 active guys and 1 non-active guy. Also, I might get counter-assaulted, so I wanted to make sure. So that is only 2 active infantry units in there. Again, it's 2 prisoners per active infantry unit in there at the end of the turn. So I'm only able to hold on to 4 prisoners. And they might get rescued if these guys counter assault down into me. Now I gotta make some bleed out checks. H0. He's okay. India 2. He's okay. These 3 guys down here in India 2. Yep, that's 6. One of them has slipped away. And that is an unsecured casualty point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Americans have lost this one on points. Pretty sure. And that's going to wrap things up for the American turn. Okay, over now to the Vietnamese turn. They're on the command phase. First thing to do, everything rallies. Okay, next. Well, actually, I'm going to head over here to my activation table. I'm going to see what those unactivated guys are going to do. So, okay, we'll see what happens. 2, fade. Yeah, they're going to start pulling out. That makes sense. Except this guy is going to have to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty. That's it for that. Actually, before I get too deep into the communist turn, let me go ahead and take let me go back to the whatchamacallit here. To the chat. No, the 173rd. Yeah, that's what I thought. Vietnam, Halo Assault Expansion Game. Hello, everyone. This stream will be... Oh, okay, cool. I guess someone was asking what we were doing. Okay. Yeah, I always thought it was the 173rd. That's like why they call it the herd. It rhymes. Former First Sergeant was in the 173rd, and they made the only American combat jump. Awesome. Play them as game stuff, not like real reference material. Yep. Robotech debacle. Oh god, I'm not gonna get started on that. Not gonna get started on that. These games really highlight the phrase butcher's bill when you have to play the numbers versus winning and killing. Yes, that's very true. Because science teacher. Twitch says the ghoul. That's our nickname for that actor. I wish I could think of his name right now. I'm gonna go ahead and Google him up. Who was the guy who played? Played by Tony Todd is his real name. Thank you. I finally looked it up on a different computer. All right, thank you. We no longer have to call him the ghoul. He's one of those actors again who's been in everything. Oh, thank you. Right there, Tony Todd. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Ben. You're back. Okay, Ben. I think the Americans have still lost on points, but the tide has turned on the tabletop. I'm pretty sure the Americans are. Oh, the Americans are definitely going to win the battle. They always do. It's an asymmetrical war game. But I'm pretty sure they've lost the game. Okay, so we've already determined what the Viet Cong movement and NVA movement's going to look like. Fire phase, they only have one stack left. They're going to go ahead and take another shot. 12 and 5 is 17. Minus 1 plus 2, so 17 plus 1. They're still on the gray row, and they're going to roll high this time. I can feel it. Please. 8 becomes a 9. They missed. Sweet. I needed that. Alright, cool. So, yeah, all of a sudden, the communists don't look so powerful. A little bit of that snake and nape took care of that shit. Okay, so that takes care of that. They don't have a movement phase. Oh, because they already moved their non-units, we're going to not forget to do the civilians this time. G9, they do not move. Yes, they do move. Sorry, they do move. And they move to number 5. Okay, India 7. They do move. Also the number 5. They're running toward the helicopter. They want to go for a ride. These guys here in Kilo 7, the objective hex, they do not move. Okay, and that's going to be that. Yeah. Okay, now American defensive fire. Come on, man. These stupid helicopters. 2 helicopter gunships. They both roll 11s, however I do have to add 2 to the result. One of them I have to add 3 to the result. Here's the one that I have to add 3 to. Oh my god, that was terrible. Okay, the one that I have to add 2 to. Okay, there we go. If I add 2 for woods, I end up with a grand total of 7 on the 11 to 18 table. That is 2 casualty points. I'm on defensive fire, which means next is the American turn. I can't take too many pins or I'm going to get overrun. So I'm going to go ahead and take the kill. Alright. Now, Warren Squad itself. I cannot include the pinned down group. 12 plus 2 plus 3, that's 17. 23. The pinned down guy is carrying the extra M60, so I can't fire that. I can, however, fire the blooper. The blooper is within range. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is 27. 27 against Woods, minus 1, plus 2 for Woods, so I have to add 1. 27 plus 1. I'm at the very top of the blue row. Damn, I hope I was going to be on the yellow row. Okay, so blue row, I have to net add 1 to the die roll. Oh my god, Warren, you redeemed yourself. Again, it's -2 for wood. It's a +2 for the woods, -1 for Warren himself. Gives me a grand total of 1. That's my total roll of 6. On the blue, 4 casualty points. I don't want to kill the sapper because I have a funny feeling I'm going to get whatchamacallit, that I'm going to get overrun. So that's going to be 2 points. And then the other 2 points I'm going to pay for by pinning them down. Which means I'm just going to get overrun anyway. But maybe the Viet Cong will rally at the end of their turn here. The end of their turn is coming up. In fact, the end of their turn is right now. Okay, cool. The end of their turn is right now. Do I rally the officer? 6 or less? Yes, the officer rallies. Do I rally the sapper? Oof, get it in the box, dummy. Yes, they both rally. Alright, cool. And that ends turn 2. I kind of predicted this game was going to end on turn 3. American turn 3. Command phase. I get no more artillery. I use it all up in one go. Everything rallies. Okay, and we go to American direct fire. Damn, these gunships are going to get there eventually. Do it! Oh my god. Nope. Both gunships missed the... They did some damage a little bit earlier. Oh, I forgot to rally him. Alright, Warren, seriously, you got to take care of this, man. We got a grand total of 13... No, I'm sorry, 12 plus 3 is 15. Plus the 9. 24 points. Plus 2 to the die roll. Blue row, add 2 to the die roll. I'm saving Warren and that last half squad for an assault. Do it, man, seriously. 7 becomes a 9 on the blue row. That is 1 casualty point. I honestly don't know which is better. I think I'm going to pin the officer. Yep, I'm going to pin the officer. That way she can still throw the satchel charge if she gets assaulted. Which means I'm probably not going to be able to assault her this turn. Okay, no worries. Go to the American movement phase. Again, before the movement phase, you try to move civilians. Alright, so E10 does move. Direction 5. Now he wants the objective hex. Golf 8. Oops. Does move and to number 2. He suddenly turns around and he's running the other way. Panicked civilians. Okay, K7. He is moving. Number 3. 1, 2, 3. He's heading down Main Street. Okay, now we go to the rest of my movements. I'm just going to use these guys as spotters. They're all low. We know that. All right. What's my tank going to do? First movement is free. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I realized this movement I did down here was slightly illegal. He only gets those 2 extra movement points if the officer is with him, but that's a legit rules goof there. Apologies for that. One thing I will do in the command phase is I'll take that full squad, divide it into a half squad, or 2 half squads. Okay, what else is going on here? Movement. Oop! Booby traps. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Okay, nothing for the tank. Who's that? Barnes? Barnes is okay. Elias is going to move less than half of his movement, so he's using the assault movement phase, which is fine. Alright, I'm leaving this group alone because I want to evacuate all these POWs. Actually, Elias will move this way, so you can evacuate that casualty. Still only moved 1 hex, so still use the assault movement rate, and therefore he's still okay. One, 2. So rice patties cost 2 for vehicles, but only 1 for infantry. 1, 2, 3. Moved half his movement rate at 6 with an officer, so that's less than half or less. Therefore, booby trap roll is 12. Cool, no booby traps, and he's not moving at all. This is like mop up. You have to start mopping up, and this stuff's important. Because it determines victory. How many prisoners I actually managed to evacuate, how many casualties I actually managed to rescue, and so on. 2 spotting checks here. Come on, guys, spot something. Double spot! Alright, what is that guy? 04, let's find out. Turn on Mr. Camera and flip that card. There he is! There's the last enemy unit. Found him. Little bastards. And he's right near an objective hex too. Is he carrying the other douche? Okay, he wasn't moving realistically, but I wasn't able to move him realistically. I didn't know who he was. So again, that's part of the blind AI mechanic screw up there. There's no way you can move a douche at full movement rate. See that 2 over the 8? That's the movement rate with a VH, a very heavy weapon. That was a new weight class made up for in Valor and Victory Modern Edition. Okay, so yeah, that's if that seems a little weird, it's totally weird. He just humped that 106-pound rifle, 106-pound machine gun, like almost half a kilometer through a rice paddy uphill into a jungle. He must be like Thor or something. Is in that half squad. There's a serious badass in there. He's like, it's a douchka. I can carry that on my. I'll carry that on in one hand. Watch this. Okay, so apparently he was trying to flank Warren's squad up here. Okay, little bastard. I see what you're doing. But at least now we have him spotted. Nobody can hit him right now except for these 2 guys. So let's go ahead and try that. The odds are not great because they're only worth 5, just basically M60 door guns. Those aren't gunships, those are troop ships. So I'm only on the 5 row, and I have to add 2 to the result because of woods. So again, I have 2 chances I have to roll a 5 or less. You never know. First of all, get rid of that card. And that's all of them, right? We've now spotted all the enemy. All these little boxes are empty. That's it. So we know that these are blank. And therefore, I own those objective hexes. Sweet. So, except for whiskey, landing zone whiskey, LZ whiskey, I'm pretty sure that I own all the objective hexes. Or, I mean, I'll get a half squad over to him to make it official. This tank is going to take that one, then he's going to take this one. It's fine. I can do all that before the end of turn 6. I already own this one. I'm the last person to have units in there. I just have to make sure I secure landing zone whiskey. Okay, but for now, let's see if those door gunners manage to get anything done. We can get rid of the rest of these cards. Yep, those are all blank units. Sweet. All right, so door gunners, come on, man, do well. Seriously, that's not well. That's like the opposite of well. The other door gunner, that's a little better, but not good enough. Okay. He cannot see because of the contour of the hill. He cannot see. Number 1, he's already fired. Number 2, what was I going to say? Trees in the way. Again, Warren's just going to sit there and just kind of not do anything. Mr. Mr. Ghoul, Mr. Sergeant Warren. Because he doesn't really have any good choices. I keep reserving his fire so we can charge and take over this hex and take a bunch of prisoners. The problem is there's still too much firepower down there. There's only like 3 ladies down there, literally like females, but they're carrying their little Prada bags of death. So yeah, you don't want to go down that hill. They'll throw a little present to you that you won't enjoy. So I'm going to leave them alone for now. The back end of most Valor Victory Modern Edition games are either won or lost in the after action sequence. I have to start evacuating casualties and prisoners. So, moving right along to the, this guy never moved. Own that objective hex. I'm just going to move the whole group in there. Roll for Booby Trap, moved less than half of his movement, so that includes the 2 points to move into a building, and still, oh no it's not, because he doesn't have an officer with him. He has to make the full Booby Trap check. Technically. Boom! He just hit a Booby Trap! Oh! Oh! Another casualty. Yeah, the Americans have lost this game. Booby Trap. We just hit a friggin' Booby Trap. So, movement in Valor and Victory is 4 hexes unless you have an officer with you. Okay? So if there was an officer in there with them, or a leader I should say, an NCO or an officer, they would have made that roll. So again, the importance of leadership. Movement is 6 if you have a leader with you. If you don't have a leader with you, your movement is 4. Okay? They were in M7. It costs 1 point to move into this little crossroad hex, and then 2 points to occupy the building. So that's 3. 3 would have been half of 6. That would have meant that they needed to roll a 12 to hit a booby trap. They would have been fine because they rolled an 11. However, because their movement rate was only 4, and they had to move 3, now that's more than half. They have to roll an 11 or 12 to hit a booby trap. This is the rule that I wrote into Valor and Victory Modern Edition on how booby traps work. So again, because they didn't have that 3-tour sergeant that reminded them to check the door frame, there might be a claymore strapped inside that hooch when you walk through the door. They walked in that hooch a little bit too quickly, and boom. Now I've got another casualty. Okay. Moving on to the after action phase. But it is the objective X. I did have to take it. Alright, so after action phase, let's evacuate some people. Okay, Mr. Barnes. Do it, save some lives. Mr. Barnes succeeds. Elias succeeds. Awesome. These guys are heading back to China Beach. They are wounded, they still count as casualties, but they will make it home. Okay, now I've got 2 infantry units in there. Can I evacuate more POWs? Please, 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 please. That is a success. And, oh, not to turn the camera. And that's a failure. 1 more POW is evacuated. Okay, this guy down here, evacuate the POW, please. He succeeds. Racking up points. I got a big hole to dig myself out of on points. Okay, medic. I actually have a real live medic. I have 1 medic left. I lost 2 medics. I have 1 left. He automatically evacuates a casualty without a roll. He gets a roll. Because he's a captain, his roll is very easy. An 8 or less on 2d6. He does make it, although barely. Alright, so lots of guys are being successfully evacuated, which is good news. So right side up is an evacuated casualty. Upside down is a unsecured casualty. That's not so good. Okay, meanwhile, this guy who just watched his buddy walk into a booby trap does get a check. Although he's not an officer, so he has to roll a 6 or less on 2d6. His roll's not so good. It's just basic first aid training. Come on, man. Stay with me. Okay, he successfully evacuated him. Good job. Alrighty. And that is the end of turn 3. Or the end of American turn 3. This will go into turn 4. Believe it or not. Okay. Okay, that's fine. NVA, or I should say a communist turn 4, after I check the chat. Yeah, it would have been a totally different game if I drew all those jacks and queens on the first turn. Is Piotr still here? It's pizza time. I don't know. It's 4 hours. Actually, no, 6 hours later where he is. So he may have already taken off. Not sure if he's still with us or not. Making sure nothing's going on in this other chat over here. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, now we'll go back to communist turn 3. After I get a drink because my voice is dying. Command phase, everything rallies. Oh boy. They may go ahead and take a shot at one of these Hueys, shoot down a Huey. Oh no! Alright. First of all, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up because I don't want us to take all day. We're looking at a grand total of 6 points. Shooting up into the woods. So, and -1 for the officer. That is 8 plus 1. Is a 9, no effect. Okay, now. There is an officer in there, right? Okay, cool. -1. Okay, anti-tank fire, technically. 50 calibers are technically light armor-piercing weapons, so we kind of use them on the armor-piercing table, or the anti-tank table, I should say. He has to roll 8 or less, or is it 6 or less? 8 or less. -1 for officer, now he has to roll a 9 or less. However, there is a penalty for shooting at flying helicopters. Before we were shooting at landed helicopters, which is very, very easy. Now we're shooting at helicopters that are flying at low altitude. That is a difference. I have to look this up. I think it's a +2. Pretty sure it's a +2. I just want to double check. Again, this rule book is available free on the Sitrep Discord or on Boardgame Geek. Just head over to Valor Victory on Boardgame Geek, look in the files section of Valor Victory, and you will find it. And you will find it translated into Spanish. Helicopter stacking movement. Come on, where is this stupid rule? Ground fire versus helicopters. Yep, rolls to hit a helicopter fire at a +2 penalty. All right, cool. All right, so it's -1 for the officer, +2 for the altitude. It is a net of +1. They need a 7 or less. It's a 50-50 shot. Oh no, poor Mr. Helicopter. Come on, get lucky, get lucky. 10, they missed. Mr. Dushka, you missed us. You suck again. Alright, now the rest of them are just going to take ground fire. Standard small arms ground fire, which again, now this is anti-personnel fire, so it works very differently. Just to demonstrate how the rules work, we'll do it really quickly. 11 points plus 3 is, again, I'm not counting these guys. That was part of the Dushka shot that missed. So now everybody else is going to go ahead and take their swing. That is 11, or small arms, AKs, PKM, things like that. That the Huey can survive if it's hit by, and we're going to figure that out right now. So it's 11 points plus 4 plus 3 is 14. APFP firepower, or APFP versus flying helicopters is always halved. Not if the helicopter is landed, but if it is flying, it is halved. So that 14 reduces to a 7. He already threw in his -1, so we can't do it now. So it reduces to a 7. It's on the white row. An 8 on the white row is nothing. Yep, they also missed. That's awesome. Alright, advance on assault phase. Yes, they are going to fade into the woods. They don't want to take more machine gun fire from those birds. Okay. I'm going to fade here so Warren Squad can no longer see me. Okay. And that's it. That's the whole force. Okay. And that's it for the NBA turn. Oh, sorry. Now I got to do. Before they could do that, I had. Oh, whoa. This is NBA turn 3. Before I could do. That wasn't movement. That was technically advance and assault phase. And before that, I get defensive fire. So let me not cheat the Americans here. Put everybody back where they were. Oh, they were up here. Okay. First, these 2 helicopters. This is kind of a long shot, but I'm going for it. A 5. They did a casualty point. And a 7. They did not. I can either pin down the Dushka, or I can pin down the officer. I'm just going to pin the officer. Okay. Now, Warren Squad. Hit him with everything because this is technically the NVA turn. I don't get to advance an assault. So do it. That's 15, 21, 24, 15, 21, 24, 26, 32, plus the blooper. Damn it. 15. This is what you do this is what happens when you do this game with no sleep. 15, 21, 24, 26, 32, 36 points. I'm on the yellow row. -1, +2. So I'm on the yellow row. Net, add 1. Oop, get the other dice out of there. Oh, for the love of God, man. 8 + 2 is 10. God. Oh, 8 + 1, sorry, is 9. 3 casualty points. Kills Miss Prada and pins the officer. I cannot do the reverse. It would be only 1 casualty point for the officer, and I'd still have to account for 2 casualty points. Yeah, that's the only way I can do that. Okay, cool. And I already did my thing with the officers down there. Nobody else can see them, guys. I wish my tank could see them. I'd lob a friggin' shell over there. I need to get up on that hill. No, I'm just going to smoke this guy with all my helicopters and just hope to God I don't get shot down in the process. Okay, over now to first I'm going to try to rally that officer, that NVA officer. Oh, 2 dice, sorry. He fails. Sweet, that's another prisoner I'm going to take. Okay, that wraps up turn 3. Moving swiftly forward. Now you don't want to just go crazy with movement because that's how you hit booby traps. So I do have to be a little bit careful here. Okay, bring an officer with you this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do the assault. I still have to. That's still 4 points. Ooh, you know what I'll do? Hold on, come back. He's just gonna move 1, 2. That is half his movement rate. He only has to pay for 4 points. He only has a movement rate of 4. That is half his movement rate. He gets the assault movement roll. Therefore, he only hits a booby trap on a 12. Cool. He's fine. He conducts an assault, and he's now a prisoner. Okay, just to wrap things up super fast, he then tries to evacuate that prisoner. He fails. Okay. Alright, meanwhile up here, move 1, that was less than half of his movement. In fact, I'm going to use the assault and move the assault, advance and assault phase, so I don't have to make any check at all there. Barnes is going to come down here using 3 points. Okay, he will have to make a check against the 12. Okay, he's fine. Alright, now, Elias, I have one officer in there. Actually, one of these vehicles is, or one of these units is gone. Or one of those support weapons is gone. Okay, now I have 3 chances to evacuate these prisoners. First, the infantry squad with a 6. He makes it. Next, Barnes with a -1 bonus. He gets a 7. He makes it. Next, Elias. Actually, Barnes probably would have shot him. Elias is there to calm him down. Barnes, don't shoot any more prisoners. Okay, Elias is going to try and evacuate again with a with a 7. He also succeeds. All 3 of those. That's 9 more victory points for the Americans. Oh, thank God. Trust me, I need all the victory points I can get right now because I'm getting the hell beat out of me. Alright. He already failed, no worries. He's got the objective hex, no worries. Okay, this tank is going to... One, two, three, 4. 5, 6. He's going to stop there because again, actually that's, yeah, he's going to stop there because hold on, I'm not really doing the rules right. Where was he? Because tanks have to pay to move, have to pay to turn a little bit. 1 free movement point, 1 free facing change per hex, so that's going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's now facing this way. The first one's free. He's going to stop right there. And then he makes another. Okay, well, I was doing that right. Okay, it just seemed like I was turning him too quickly. Okay, now I'm stopping there when he's only spent 6 of his move. That's not 6 of his movement points. That's 7 of his movement points. So move there, because it's to move from A6 to A7. It's 1 additional one for the elevation, 1 additional one for the woods. So I'm just going to move him into B6, so I don't have to pay for the elevation. I definitely want to stay at 6 movement points because that's exactly half of 12. So I am less likely to hit a booby trap. He hits a booby trap anyway. After all that, he runs over a mine. I hate this game. Who wrote this game? This game's terrible. The game is brilliant. I love Valor Victory. Who wrote this stupid modern expansion is what I mean to say. Who ruined the game? You could have just played it the way it was supposed to be played. Where the hell are booby traps? God damn it. IEDs. Oh, you want to play with IEDs. Okay, booby trap versus a vehicle. Armored vehicles that set off booby traps suffer a B-class attack against their flank armor. No more results are applied. Okay, that's okay. I'll probably survive that. He ran over a little bomb in the road, but he's a tank. He can probably survive it. B versus D. That's actually pretty good chances. This might not be so bad. B versus D. Yeah, he has to roll a 3 or less. He close. Okay, so the booby trap went off, but the tank survived it. Because tank. If that had been a truck, or, you know, that's automatic destroyed. Or if that had been a, like an M113. An M113 has like, I think, a B or an A armor factor. That B would have really screwed it up. In fact, with the roll I just made, that would have definitely screwed it up. That would have blown up an M113. But a big-ass tank, he actually survived that. Happy to say. The reason I turned him around so fast is I'm trying to get to where he can occupy LZ Yankee before the end of the game. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and complete my movement here. Oop, that's right, I can't, let me not cheat. High and high. Movement rate, go high. The reason you want to go high if you possibly can is because that's when you start paying a lot, that penalty that Dushka gets to shoot at you becomes much tougher. So basically I'm just going to go to high altitude. I'm just going to pour machine gun fire into this Hex until he dies. Because I'm sick of his ass. And I'm also trying to wrap up this game. Okay, let's wrap up the gunfire of our helicopters that haven't actually fired yet. Awesome. Cool. So, no scraping fire here, so it's just going to be 11 row, add 2 for the dice roll. Cool. So basically I need a 6 or less. That's a 6, that's 1 casualty point. That's a 5, that is... 5 becomes a 7. That is 2 casualty points. On top of the ones, that's 3 total. That's my 2 gunships finally scoring some hits. And now I have 5 slicks that have to roll really well. They have to basically roll a 5 or less, but I get 5 chances. 1, shoot! 4, a modified... 1, 2, 3, modified 5. That is another 3 casualty points. Holy crap. Yeah, this game just going to end really fast all of a sudden. That was a sweet roll. That's a miss. That's more typical. That's a miss. That's another 4. 4 on the 5 row becomes a 6. That is 2 more casualty points. And last one. This is my 5th and last roll. He misses. I did a total of 8 casualty points against that stack. That's it. That's game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the pinned down guy is only 1 victory point anyway. I actually wish they hadn't killed them all. That way I could have taken more prisoners. Alright, cool. So we're going to wind up taking, that's turn 4. We're going to wind up taking all casualties are now off the table, one way or another. We're going to wind up evacuating him. And wind up taking all the objective X's. Okay, so if anyone's interested, we're going to quickly figure out who actually won this game and how badly. Again, as you can see, turn 4, the PAVN and NLF completely tabled. But I'm pretty sure the Americans lost the game. Because asymmetrical warfare. So on the construction table, we have... We're going to count up the total number of points that were in the NVA and VC force. Because now we actually have to include officers. So 1 plus 1. Okay, that's the officer, that's the half squad, that's the other half squad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Total of 41 points. So that's going to be a total of 41 points in killed units. Because we killed everything. Next, we're going to go to how many prisoners did I take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. That's going to help, but I don't think it's enough. It's a grand total of 65 points. 24 plus 41. That's the good news. Now for the bad news. Almost positive I lost this game. 1, 2, 3. Damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 8 is 56. Yep. 56 in unsecured casualties. Yeah, the Americans lost. Damn it! Come on, machine! And then how many in secured casualties? Secured casualties are only 4 points apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 28 points in secured casualties. So 28 plus 56 is too high. 28 plus 56, 84. 84 to 65, yeah. There you have it, folks. That's how asymmetrical combat works. So I guess the AI system works pretty well if it just kicked my ass. I kicked my ass 84 to 65. I lost by almost 20 points. But that's how it works. Now again, those AI mechanics are super informal. I literally made them up this morning while eating my breakfast and not getting any sleep. So it's the bare bones beginning of how that kind of a thing would work. But everything else in there is pretty much chapter and verse. I think I made 1 or 2 small rule mistakes in here somewhere, but that's basically how it goes. Not only in chapter and verse. What's the word? D-Day +1 is the specific edition that I recommend you get. It is available on Board Game Geek. It is available. Yeah, you should definitely check it out. On Board Game Geek, yeah, just make sure you get the D-Day +1 edition. Or I think they call it like the D +1. Other editions are great, but they have been updated. So the basic edition, the original edition, followed by the captain's edition, they're all fine. You'll still have a lot of fun, but there will be some rules that will be a little unclear. They have been cleaned up almost perfectly now in the whatchamacallit rule in the edition, the D +1 edition. So, I'm going to check out the chat one more time, unless anyone else has any more questions. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Okay, so, oh wow. So, skipping back and forth between the game and the movie. Okay, no worries. It's amazing how fast the turns get as the games progress. Yeah, Valor Victory will do that, especially if you're playing a game with a lot of support assets, which the Americans had. That first turn is a beast. First 2 turns, really, because you come on the board and you can't really do anything because you didn't really get a command phase, and then turn 2 you get your command phase, and that's when you call in all your support assets, and that's when all the big bada booms happen. And I mean, that's how you see it in the movies. That's how you see it in the actual combat reports. You know, the Americans are advancing through the jungle. The Viet Cong or the NVA, especially the Viet Cong, but also the NVA as well, will almost always get the first shot. You have a couple guys go down, unfortunately. Maybe someone hits a booby trap. That's the shitty part. And then the first thing they do is they drop to their stomachs, and the Americans just unleash a ridiculous amount of firepower. The reason why these values seem so high, it's intentional. This is done by math. I did not just pluck these numbers out of the air. Okay? If you look at a Valor and Victory squad from original Barry Doyle, Valor and Victory, 8 men, the firepower is usually a 4 for 8 men. That's 8 men with bolt-action rifles or semi-automatic rifles, M1s, Gewehr 43s, Enfields, whatever. Okay, that's fine. So it's half a point per man. 4 points out of an 8-man squad. Then you look at their, this is the game DNA, that's published not by me. You see submachine gun squads, Soviet Guard squads with PPSHs, American paratroopers with Thompsons, stuff like that. They all have 6s. Oh, because they're automatic weapons. Okay, so an automatic weapon is 0.75. 8 men gives you a value of 6. Okay, no worries. Here's the problem. Okay, you actually look at how a real squad is built nowadays. 8 men, 2 fire teams. Each fire team has an M60 machine gun, or a saw, or something like that. Some sort of medium machine gun. Those weapons give you a 3 in original Valor and Victory. By that I mean like an MG42 or something. Oh wow. So now what are you going to do? Okay, so that's baked into the squad. Okay, you can't just say, oh, every Valor and Victory squad in the modern era gets to carry 2 M60s. That literally breaks the game. Because remember, a unit can only carry 1 support weapon. So when I actually wrote this game, this expansion for this game, I should say, I didn't write Valor and Victory. I just wrote the modern expansion for it. That means that everything has to have a 3 baked into it. So it's not 0.75 plus 0.75 plus 0.75. It's 0.75 plus 0.75 plus 0.75 plus 3. So, wow, before you know it, you wind up with about a 6 for a half squad. That means a full squad gets a 12. And it's where the logic takes you, it's where the math takes you, and you wind up with some absurd numbers. No one's carrying bolt-action rifles anymore. No one's carrying semi-automatic rifles anymore. These are all fully automatic weapons, or at least, like semi-automatic like battle rifles. By the way, those battle rifles have a lower number. Like a British squad has like a 10, not a 12. And that's not a slight against the British. It's because you tend to carry like semi-automatic weapons, especially in the Falklands. You're carrying like the old FNs and stuff like that. I think the L1A1 you guys used to call it. It's not a fully automatic weapon. You guys get a longer range. Notice the Americans only get a 5 in range. The British tend to get a 6 or a 7 in range. You're firing a heavy round and you're firing it semi-automatic. It's going to be more accurate. The toughness of the unit is in the casualty rating. That's the last number. I give in original Valor and Victory, it's usually a 4. I give almost everybody in this game a 5. Unless you're a Viet Cong. I give most Americans, British, First World Forces a 5. Again, not to say that they're super tough or anything, but they're usually wearing at least a little bit of body armor. And then if you're an elite unit, you go from a 5 to a 6. So my Marines have a 6. Or my Rangers have a 6. Or, things like that. So, yeah, that's where that insane firepower comes from. And you drop down that M60, you drop down that M16, and then as soon as that fire starts to have an effect, you fix the enemy, you pin them down a little bit, that's when God knows what comes in. An F4 Phantom carrying 1,000 gallons of napalm, F5 Freedom Fighters with Snake and Nape, AH-1 Huey Cobras, who knows what. A regular Huey gunship, converted from a troop ship or something like that. And that's when the enemy just gets blown up. Now, what would often determine victory or loss or success or defeat, whatever you want to call it, in a Vietnam conflict is if that support stuff, those support assets could get to the enemy before he had a chance to withdraw. Because really quick, after Operation Silver Bayonet, after Idrang, after all that stuff, especially the NVA, not so much the Viet Cong, but definitely the NVA, very quickly learned do not have a battle last longer than 10-15 minutes. 10, 12 minutes, 15 at the most. At the most. If a firefight lasts more than 15 minutes, you die in minute 16. Because that's when the sky opens up and God knows what. There might be a battleship offshore, especially if you're up north near the DMZ. There might be a heavy cruiser, the heavy cruiser that shelled all over the place in the Battle of Hue. You have 170 millimeter cannon that the Army had up at Con Thien and Camp Carroll. You had the Marine artillery at Quai San, the rock pile. Forget about it, dude. You're done. You have to be out of there if you're playing the Viet Cong. Or the NVA, I should say, the communists. But yeah, it's firepower versus concealed movement is pretty much the basics here. So that's our result. I was probably a little too aggressive, and then they just got some really good cards at the beginning. Their forces were almost set up like a deliberate battle, almost like I was facing a real opponent. And because I gave them AI opponent numbers, I got the hell beat out of me on turn 1. Good grief! Turn 1, I got curb stomped coming in here. But hey, that's how the cards draw. That's how the dice roll. I'll tell you what, on turn 2, I had an awesome support phase. Good God Almighty! What was it? A 2, a 3, and a 5, like back to back, with really big numbers. This isn't like oh, my officer with his M16 and his pistol, he rolled a 2. No, that was a battery of 155s from a fire base 12 miles away, just literally dropping them down the pickle barrel. Then I rolled the 2, and yeah, just whole companies of NVA just get blown off the map in one swing. That was awesome. So I'm not going to complain about the dice on turn 2, but I just took too many losses. Too many losses. I played a lot of Valor Victory in Vietnam. I've also done it in Lebanon, Falklands. Falklands isn't really asymmetrical, so disregard that one. But definitely Lebanon. That's IDF versus PLA, or PLO I should say. Afghanistan, Somalia, stuff like that. If you're the Americans or the British or whoever, if you're the First World Force and you win on turn 4, you didn't do it right. You took too many losses. You should always try to win on turn 6. In other words, take your damn time. Use your firepower. Don't rush in like I did, because I just took too many losses. The perfect game of Valor Victory Modern Expansion, if you're the First World player, is you use all your time, and you barely take that last objective hex on turn 6. Or you barely evacuate that last POW or that last casualty on turn 6. You barely make it, time-wise. That means you use all your time, and the more time you take, the less you bleed. Because your firepower and all your advantages in firepower and range and support weapons and all that stuff like that, you really got the bang for your buck out of that. So yeah, don't rush like I did. I kind of went in there Leroy Jenkins style. I was just trying to get the chat and the stream to go quickly. Also, I kind of underestimated how many cards they were going to draw right off the top. I was expecting some more queens and jacks in those first 5 or 6 cards. But hey, oh well, what are you going to do?